Square at Starbase. It's SpaceX celebrating its record-breaking IPO, a $75 billion offering priced at $135. And it's SIBO in Chicago. It's the Illinois Public Pension Fund Association, nonprofit founded in 1985. Jim, watching him speak, you reminded this company's almost a quarter century old.
No, it is. It gives you chills. I mean, maybe that's what I feel about. I mean, I was reading Peggy Noon last night. She's one of my absolute favorites. She's talking about how there's certain things that for the just 250 years of our country and what she was talking about Rocky. I get that. It was a nice dramatic piece that she wrote. I see it. I see Rocky and I give her SpaceX. I think that this is a monumental, hardworking story that, David, I really think most Americans seem to be able to. Is there something we can unite on? Or do you think it's because he's a trillionaire we can't unite on it?
I'm sorry?
I think we can unite on this. I'm being a little ethereal, maybe even sappy. I don't mind that. But that we can unite on this. I think most Americans are very proud of this. There'll be some Americans who say he's a trillionaire and it's not right. I don't think that comes to mind for most Americans. Not after all the hard work you put in and how this, you could say, was
no,
doomed
it's
to
a
fail.
Great story of what they've accomplished. There's no doubt about that.
But isn't that terrific?
And they're what they're hoping to accomplish in the future. Sure.
Like, let's say they can take satellite, just bombard the world with satellites very early
the
on.
world. Well,
let's say they take.
It's an important part of their business model is to get the Starship up and running, and then be able to release the V3 satellites, which will greatly enhance the capacity of Starlink, and then eventually allow for the transmissions that will be needed from data centers in space back to Earth.
It's going to happen. Look,
that will be years and years away, but that's certainly an important part of what their ambition is.
While the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary, to make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about, is to take the fiction out of science fiction and create an exciting, inspiring future for everyone. We want to be able to take anyone who wants to go to the moon, anyone who wants to go to Mars, or anyone in the solar system, and maybe beyond the solar system at some point. We want to be able to take you there. Not just a few astronauts. I mean you, literally you. If you watch, whoever you are watching this, SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond. And I'm confident at this point that with the incredible team that we have here at SpaceX, that we will do that for you.
Should we invest?
I think at some point everyone should own SpaceX, not necessarily have to chase it today. There's a lot of hype and hoopla and excitement, which there should be. But the company just starts trading today. It will be trading throughout the rest of our lifetimes and doing things that are absolutely amazing. So there's some point that I will personally load up on the stock. It won't be today, but we should be celebrating two things here. One, American exceptionalism. This is absolutely phenomenal. Not only is it the biggest IPO in history, but it marks our entry into the official space economy, which is, if you think about America and how we grew and, how the nation broadened out, then we got to the end where California was and Hawaii and McKinley, he sort of pushed for us to be a more broad nation. This is an extension of that. And the opportunities are absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, SpaceX is just one name. They're the main name making this happen, but there's a whole lot of other companies that are benefiting from this. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Happy Friday for you. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. Getting ready to go into the weekend. I'm ecstatic from everything I'm seeing. So much out of Friday. So many things are happening. And like, Charles said, if you didn't get the IPO, that's okay. It might actually be better for you if you didn't get it. And here's why. A lot of people got the initial IPO, and I hope you made some money today. I think, let me just check here the latest. The market is now closed, and it looks like things are up about 20% or so. So you made some money. But a lot of people who have the IPO stock, you're going to be restricted, for the most part, restricted from resale for the next 15 days. And so in the history of IPOs, excuse me, numbers go up pretty quick, and then the dust settles because people are taking profit, and then 15 days later, it may not be in the same situation, which is why Charles, he didn't say it, but that's exactly what he meant when he said, hey, I'm going to load up, just not yet, because the people who can't sell for a quick profit may see their purchase drop precipitously. It may drop to $70, may drop to $80, may not drop at all. But if you look at the history of IPOs, it goes, shoots right up. Everybody who can sell, and everybody else, it goes down. And then people come in like vultures and start eating at the trough, which is, pretty much what I'm going to do, because I think it's going to drop down to 70 or so, and then it's going to be where I want it, and it's going to take off. But nonetheless, wherever you got in, hope you made some money today. And I made a post earlier, and I said there's going to be people who are going to make a fortune today, and there may be some people who lose a fortune today. But the real money is going to be made in the periphery, everything around it. And like Charles said, there's other aerospace companies out there that you can look at as well. Obviously, with what's going on in Iran, which we'll talk about, you're going to have an opportunity for gold, silver, and different kind of things, metals. Bottom line is this. I think today starts the rebound. I think immediately today, with what we saw thus far, now we're going to see everything change. I almost wonder if this was intentionally coincidental. You saw my thumbnail, the thumbnail that I put up, and I really did mean that when I put this up. This is the thumbnail, and I put Saving America, and I've got Trump with his MAGA people behind him, and then Elon with the rockets going on the other side. Because today is June 12th. On Sunday, you have the big UFC fight. By the way, breaking news, the court said, get out of here, Democrats. You're not going to make them cancel it. So it will go on. There will be a big event this Sunday, which I am going to endeavor to show. We're going to do a Rumble jump over and, do some stuff beforehand, and then we'll do a jump over to watch the actual event. So come on in and we shall have some fun, as long as they don't hit the switch on me. But in any event, this is the golden era. We are here now. Where we're going, you don't need cards. We don't need cars because we're not going to be using roads. Things are about to take off. I don't know if you know this bit of breaking news. Should I break this to you guys right now real quick? Yeah, I'll do that. Oops, that's the wrong thing.
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
All right, to break a little news for you today, if you haven't seen it, the Paramount Warner Brothers merger has just won approval. Again, this happened, what time does it say? 4:35, just a half an hour ago. It's a coincidence that the DOJ just happened to approve this merger on Friday, June 12th, with all this stuff happening. Yeah, I know conspiracy theorists out there, put my tinfoil hat on, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it? Well, it's amazing that we just saw CBS fall. Now we're seeing CNN is going to fall hard. It says here, the U.S. Department of Justice has signed off on Paramount Skydance's proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. A person familiar with the matter told CNBC. Paramount didn't immediately respond to comment. Politico first reported the government approval. While the company received the green light, it could still face legal challenges from the communists in California and some other states. Paramount CEO David Ellison told investors during company's April earnings call that the deal was on track to close by September. The proposed merger has already received Warner Brothers Discovery shareholder approval. It is going to happen. Just happened to happen on the same day of the IPO, right before, oh, wait a minute, who's broadcasting the UFC fight? Paramount. Coincidence? How many more coincidences do we have to have? Oh, and then on top of that, we'll get to the Iran story as well. But all this kind of stuff is happening, and things are going crazy. Let me just check in on the stock market. It's all green light. Green light, green light, green light. Stock market closed up 353 points. S&P up, NASDAQ up. Everything's up. Everything is looking for the golden age. And there's not a single one of you who have ever watched my show, at least for the last year, who can say right now they're surprised. Because he's been telling us. Did I know it was going to happen around his birthday? No, but once I started seeing things put in place, I'm like, it's about to happen, right? And then we found out that the IPO was going to be, on June 12th, right before his birthday. And the Paramount, right before his birthday. And a UFC fight. I had a great conversation this morning with Lee Greenwood, an amazing conversation. I was going to show it today, but I decided I'm going to show it before the big UFC event as well. So to basically kick it in and bring it in together before we do the jump over. So we've got that. But all this being said, it's such a bad day for the libs. It's such a bad day for the lib nuts out there. Say a prayer for them. They got nothing. Their biggest thing that the libtards had today was they had to take Donald Trump's name off of the Kennedy Center. Oh, we're all going to shed a tear about that. F the Kennedy Center. This is about prosperity. This is about doing everything that we wanted to do, everything we want to see, and unshackling America. Today is a great day for America, not just for Elon Musk. He became the first trillionaire. Never thought those words would roll off my tongue. I'm not jealous. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a libtard. I'm not jealous. I'm applauding that kind of prosperity. You see, because what that should be, none of us, wow, this is something I can use as superlative. None of us are trillionaires. Not a single one of us. You ever think you could basically be a superlative where only one person is at the top, a true apex predator? There's only one person who's a trillionaire. None of us are. But that's not saying none of you can't be. And I really want that to sink in, because the Democrats who are already crying about giving away Elon Musk's money, they're treating people as though they have no opportunity and that they're stuck. When they're the ones who are stucking the people. They are the ones who are keeping people in complete debt, despair, and hopelessness. Everybody associated with Trump is trying to tell you, live your best life. Go for it. There's nothing holding you back. They were complaining, and I found a picture I wanted to bring to your attention. When people are jealous about Elon Musk or people like Jeff Bezos, they never seem to talk about this. They never seem to show Jeff Bezos in an old garage developing something called Amazon.com way back, even way back when he had a little bit of hair. They don't show you this. They don't show you young Elon sitting in a warehouse looking at all these doggone parts that he wants to assemble to make rockets and different things. They don't show you that. Democrats don't show you innovation. Democrats don't show you inspiration. They provide you with no aspiration. Well, it's just not fair. It's a fair share, and everybody's broke, and we can't even afford groceries. Good. Barry, why do you say that? Because when I didn't have any money, that was my inspiration. I hope that you guys all feel that. If you're saying right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay next month's rent. I don't know how I'm going to keep the lights on. I don't even know what I'm going to eat. Instead of being in despair, that should be your inspiration. Right now, this man just became a trillionaire. I am not at all jealous. I'm looking at him and going, I see where they came from. A little garage that looks like, I don't even know what kind of monitor that was back then at this point, and another guy in a scrap heap there. That's inspiration. That's not despair. It's like, what am I going to do? I can spend time wallowing, or I can spend time coming up with inspiration, trying to figure out what I can do to innovate, get better. We just had the largest IPO in history. And it started as a little company in a warehouse in El Segundo, California. And now it's going public with the biggest IPO ever in America. When you hear people say the American dream is dead, you just saw it happen. You just saw the American dream get realized. You saw everything about the American dream come to complete fruition for somebody. That didn't upset me, didn't make me jealous. I'm like, damn, you can do it. Now, I don't know if anybody here will ever be a trillionaire. I can't say that, but what I can say is there's nothing stopping you from becoming one. And the Democrats will never tell you, oh, the deck is stacked against you. It's rigged. You can't do anything. Do you know how many people, including yours truly, have made money, lost money, made money again, lost money, made money again? Do you know how many people who could write that in their life story? Because they didn't accept being down. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Dust off. All right, what are we doing next? What are we going to seize on? How are we going to try and obtain our American dream? Wasn't like this. Nobody ever achieved the so-called American dream like this. You can't get it by handout. If you're a proud American, I guess that's number one, because if you don't believe in America, you're never going to get there. That's number one. And you can talk to a lot of these people and like, hey, they come in from other countries. Why do they want to come here? Because America, you guys make money. I remember in the old Eddie Murphy movie, if you got a gun or money, you're going to eat. There's nothing that precludes you from eating anything you want, whether legally or criminally. There's food there. There are actually buildings in America where you can walk in and go, damn, there's all kinds of food in there. I think people take that for granted. Look at Cuba. Cuba would love to walk into Walmart or Winn-Dixie or Publix, or whatever chain is in your area, Kroger, Piggly Wiggly. They would love, wait a minute, you guys got all this stuff in here? Unfortunately, in California, in certain places, you got to put it behind glass because they haven't taught people about the American dream. They just want to walk in and steal it. So I think we have to, as a group, congratulate people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, not be envious of them, not be envious at all. We need to celebrate something we used to celebrate called American exceptionalism. And so this weekend, when they're having the UFC fights and everything else out there, I think that's part of the reason why it makes it so great. We are going to see exceptionalism. We're going to see some of that toxic masculinity on display. When men used to be men, warriors, almost like, back in the day in the, the big giant stadiums. You ever been to Rome in the Colosseum? That's what they used to do, and have them come out there and fight each other, besides eating people with having lions eat them. But used to promote exceptionalism. I told you months ago, Watch what happens shortly after Memorial Day. We are going into the sports season. Not the fact that, baseball is not a sport, but baseball's got another, 18 months before we get to the championships. But now we're seeing, you don't even like the NBA, but you're seeing the complete exceptionalism happening in the NBA. What happened in the last game? You probably don't know because you probably don't want to watch the NBA, but the New York Knicks were down by 29 points. In the first half, they only scored 46 points. They set 2 records. They gave up the most points in the first half, and they scored the least in the first half. They were done. The announcers were like, it's over, pack it up, let's go to San Antonio. Then American exceptionalism kicked in. And whether you were a fan of the Knicks or not, you had to go, what the hell did these guys just do? They were facing adversity times 10. You're down by 30 points. They didn't quit. They didn't say, well, what time's the plane leave for San Antonio? This ain't gonna work. I hope my grandson stayed up till midnight and watched that, because that was, it exemplified everything about America. You don't quit. Hey, we're down 30 points. What do? Win. Dude, we're down by 30 points against another championship team. We're gonna win. Let's get out there and win. And it took them all the way down to 2 seconds left, and they won. American exceptionalism. Phenomenalism. People will be talking about that forever. They seized on an opportunity. Elon seized on an opportunity. SpaceX, in addition to making him a trillionaire, which nobody is talking about, is the fact that he made, wait for this stat, 4,000 millionaires. 4,000 millionaires were made today besides what their boss made. 4,000. People who washed floors. People who took out the garbage. People who opened the mail. People who welded things to the rockets are millionaires. And I'm not just talking single millionaires. They had a whole bunch of people that made $100 million today. I bet you they're thinking the American dream is most assuredly alive. I bet you they're like, damn, what a country. I was washing windows and taking out the garbage for the last couple of years, and they told me, I should buy some of these stock options. I'm like, yeah, I'll get some. And now all of a sudden today they're looking going, oh shit. And yes, I do mean oh shit, because oh shit. If you opened up your bank account today and you were making $28 an hour and all of a sudden you had $1 million, I'm pretty sure you would say, oh shit. And we need to salute them, not be jealous. Find your job, find your business, do something that provides you with an opportunity that if you put in, if you invest the time and effort, you don't know what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years. We have the instant economy right now. Everybody wants money right now. Everybody wants their food right now. You go stick on the microwave and you're like, come on, man, cook that doggone food. No, the best meals are when you go to a restaurant or to grandma's house and she spends all day making it. She invests the time into making that unbelievable meal. It's much better than the microwave, but people want it instantly, and it doesn't work that way. So I want to play you more of what Elon had to say today.
Well, thank you, Gwen. Gwen Shawwell's been an incredible partner and was one of the first people to join the company. And so thank you, Gwen. Oh, she's in New York, of course. Where is she? Yeah, it is certainly hard to believe that a little company that started in a warehouse in El Segundo is now going public for with the largest IPO that ever. And let me tell you, if people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack, because I think this company's going to fail.
Now, when he said that, I want you to understand something. Most entrepreneurs, people who start something, the mortality rate, which is something you always have to put in a business plan, can be quite high. You don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know if it's going to succeed. More than likely, it's going to fail. Most people who start restaurants, they close within the first 3 or 4 years. You're done. Didn't work. Bye. Your money's gone. And so when he's saying that just wasn't a joke. He's like, I didn't know we'd even be here. Remember, they were probably one rocket away from blowing up in the sky from going out of business, from an investor going, I can't give you any more money. I can't do it. Your thing keeps blowing up. But he didn't, and he just kept going, and he kept going, and he kept going.
I mean, I gave SpaceX less than a 10% chance of succeeding at all, to be clear.
Now, again, understand, he's not making that up. That is probably the mortality rate for his type of business. When you start looking at doing something, you will be able to determine, there's all kinds of research as to what the mortality rate is of a certain endeavor. So he knew that going in. I got a 10% chance of making this work. So when you hear that he had only a 10% chance of making it work, then conversely, that means he had a 90% chance of it failing. But it didn't deter him. He had to keep going. He had a dream. He understood what he wanted to do.
In fact, I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but we should give it a try, because if we don't, if there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization. While the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary. To make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about, is to take the fiction out of science fiction and create an exciting, inspiring future for everyone.
And he means that, because you're looking at a room full of millionaires. You're looking at secretaries. You're looking at all kinds of people in that company who, because of the man talking, like, did I just make $1 million? Yeah, you did. Did I just make 100 million? Yeah. And so those people right now would walk on water for him. They would run through a wall. At this point, the amount of faith that these people have in him, you can't even buy. Well, he didn't buy it, but that's what happened. Stick with me. This is going to work. I don't know how, but stick with me. I'm doing something so that we can just go to the stars. And when we get there, all of you are going to be madly rich.
We want to be able to take anyone who wants to go to the moon, anyone who wants to go to Mars, or anywhere in the solar system, and maybe beyond the solar system at some point. We want to be able to take you there. Not just a few astronauts. I mean you. Literally you. If you're watching.
And he just did that. I want to take you there. Well, you may not be able to get to the moon, but you just got $1 million, so I took you very close to your moon, what you were thinking. I'm playing this because I want you to see the amazing contrast that I'm going to show you with the Democrats' response.
Whoever you are watching this, SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond. And I'm confident at this point that with the incredible team that we have here at SpaceX, that we will do that for you.
While they're clapping, let me interject again, because you see a guy going like this, he's happy. Another thing the Democrats aren't even talking about. There's a whole lot of women. There's a whole lot of black people. It's diverse. There was no preclusion. We don't want women working here. We don't want Mexicans. We don't want, no. Take out the garbage. Do the best damn job you can do, taking out my garbage and washing the windows and delivering the mail. And you're a part of this operation.
I always think about this. There are always problems on Earth. There are always problems on Earth. There are always things that we wish to be better, that we want to solve here on Earth, and we should solve them. But there also have to be things that get you excited about the future, that make you glad to wake up in the morning, because you can't wait to see what happens next. And that's the future that SpaceX wants to bring to you.
Okay, so with all the clapping, let me move on so we're not here for 4 hours. Now let me show you the contrast. You just saw a group of people exalting the fact that they, not just financially, but it's a culmination of their success, their hard work, everything they've done. To see this happen, I'm sure their families, I'm sure their coworkers, everybody associated with them are like, wow, it actually happened. You did something, even though other people told you it wouldn't work. And like I showed you earlier, you came from this, and now look where you are. You came from a basement, if you're Jeff Bezos, and you're in a garage in El Segundo, looking at broken parts and everything, and you actually made something. Now, with all that inspiration that you just heard from Elon, you would think Democrats would be happy. Nope. Just the opposite. They hate it. They hate everything about American ingenuity. They hate everything about America's prosperity. Let me prove this to you with just my first tweet to show you. Check this out. I had to post this because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The Democrats are the enemy of a prosperous America. Their attitude against success is absolutely disgusting. The Nazi up in Maine said, Elon Musk just became the world's first trillionaire. Let's make sure he's also the last. Huh? Let's make sure he's the last trillionaire. Why would you ever want to hear that from anyone in your government? He's not there yet, but he may get to government. Why would you want to hear that from somebody? Why would you want to embrace anybody who says, let's hope he's the last one? How far has the Democrat Party fallen when they are basically, and he had like all kinds of likes and comments, when you're telling somebody, I hope nobody else can attain any success at that level? That should be discounting. And then Elizabeth Warren, right at the same time, she wrote, Elon just became the world's first trillionaire. The typical American household would have to work more than 11 million years to make Elon Musk level of wealth. We need a wealth tax. That's the first thing that came to your mind? See, the problem is what she just said. I don't know if any of you picked up on what she just said. When she wrote there, she goes, the typical American household. Honey, there's nothing typical about what Elon Musk has done. There's nothing typical about what Jeff Bezos has done. There's nothing typical about all those employees who were standing around clapping who became instant millionaires. There's nothing typical in terms of my household in regards to the typical American family. People need to stop being typical. People need to be atypical. Nobody ever succeeds doing the same thing as somebody else. Disruption is supposed to be a code word when you get into something. You try and do better. Nobody says, you know what, Kmart failed. Let me open this store. Hopefully I can be a typical retailer. No, I need to do better. And then Gavin Newsom, he got into the thing here, and he's like, Americans are struggling to pay for groceries and gas while Elon Musk becomes a trillionaire. When the federal government is for sale, the rich get richer and everyone else gets shafted. The system is rigged. Oh, really? Tell that to the 4,000 millionaires who woke up today. If it's rigged, how did all those people make millions? From very different denominations, women, men, black, white, probably some of them gay. How did it happen if the system is rigged? They're lying. And of course, Bernie had this to say. Today, Elon Musk is a trillionaire. He pays the same amount into Social Security as someone making $184,000. If we end that absurdity and lift the cap on taxable income, we can make Social Security solvent for 75 years, blah, 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 bullshit. Excuse my language. I don't want to be typical. You shouldn't want to be typical. Typical means you're stuck. Typical means you are just waiting for something to happen. As Elon said, we're making a fiction nonfiction. We're making true stories here. Here, listen to it in action. It's absolutely disgusting when you hear it.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. Think about that. We're living in a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy.
Well, maybe that's the problem, Liz. Maybe the fact that so many people are hanging on by their fingernails, maybe you should fix that problem. Not Elon. He found out a way not to hang on by his fingernails. Have you thought about that? Why are so many people, that she says, hanging on by their fingernails? What are they doing wrong? What are they not doing right? Who's teaching them? Who's not teaching them? Change that. If you can't change your situation, then somebody is keeping you in that situation.
And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history. I want to be clear. This is not just some fluke. It is a feature of a rigged economy.
Now, see, there's going to be idiots who see her videos, and they'll never know the story that 4,000 people around Elon became millionaires and multimillionaires today. But more so, not just about the money. They succeeded. That's the other part she's not talking about. Success. The money comes after you succeed. Where the Democrats is, the money should be what we can dole out to you. Here's some money, even though you didn't do anything. You sat on your butt and watched Jerry Springer reruns, and we sent you some bonbons and a snap card. You didn't earn. You didn't do anything to prosper. You're a lazy schlub. And by the way, I'm not talking about people who are affirmed, either mentally or physically. Not talking about you. Don't get offended. Some people just because of their situation in life, physically or mentally, cannot do certain things. Not talking about those people. Those people deserve our attention. I'm talking about the rest of the people. And I haven't even brought up all the fraud yet. That's a whole other thing.
Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill cut health care for millions of Americans to give guys like Elon bigger tax breaks.
Do you know that the big, beautiful bill helped guys like me? Is going to help guys and gals like, who work for Elon? It's not just about billionaires. It's a huge lie. You keep lying to the American people. Or maybe it's not even American people. Maybe it's, illegals.
Tax code rewards CEOs for firing workers and replacing them with AI. Loopholes have allowed Jeff Bezos to pay an effective tax rate lower than a Boston public school teacher.
All right, so she says that every 2 or 4 years, but nobody ever proposes a law different. They complain about it, but that's the law. Like we know about California, that's the law. You want to change it? You want to stop incentivizing business? You want to stop people from putting their hard-earned money back into reinvesting into their companies? You want to stop other investors from investing into companies? I guess, yes, you do. That's exactly what the Democrats want. They want to stifle the economy and turn back everything and stifle investment. It's communist.
And we are left with a country where a handful of billionaires at the top pop champagne in their $300 million yachts, while working people take on even more shifts to try to pay off their student loan debt.
They took the loans out, moron. So if you got to take on more shifts to pay your, quote, student loans, you know the word loan, you decided to take that money. Why aren't you going after the colleges who pump these kids out with no marketable skills? And all they can do is be baristas. You don't talk about that, though. You don't care that Harvard has a gazillion-dollar endowment and kids are coming out of there and they can't frickin' read. Well, maybe not Harvard, but you know what I'm saying. They're not talking about that. It's always the billionaires and trillionaires.
The top 1% of U.S. earners now have more wealth than the entire middle class.
So is that a problem? No. If the top 1% have more wealth than the bottom 99, whatever she's trying to say, the problem is that the bottom 99 are having issues moving up. And I wouldn't say bottom 99. I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of that number, probably as much as 50% of people who are still doing things to try and move up. They haven't given up on life yet. Hopefully they won't give up on life. There are so many people I meet on a daily basis and talk to and get emails from who like, hey, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to the next step. I didn't even know some of this stuff was available to me. I've been amazed how many emails I get, and like, hi, Barry, you have motivated me to just begin looking. They didn't think it was available. I get emails from people like, I don't know how to buy the stock. Imagine that right now. Imagine right now that there are people in our chat who are seeing what's going on and go, how do I get involved? People who want to get involved because at their age, they have never been shown. Imagine, she is talking to a legion of Democrats right now who've never even been shown how to participate. They're sitting in the bleachers going, how do these guys run so fast? How's this guy dunking? They've never even understood what it takes to be on the court or the field. That's shameful. Not the people. It's shameful that people like her don't show people. Hey, she could easily say, listen, I've made a whole lot of money buying and selling real estate, which she has, but you're not supposed to know about that. And she could say, oh, you guys come, we're going to do a seminar, and I'm going to show you how I buy and sell real estate. You don't come, that's on you. At least she can offer it. I have webinars all the time from people who want to show people how to buy and sell stock. I talk to you about real estate all the time. I feel incumbent to actually offer that and say, look what's available to you. Somebody just texted me as I was talking and said, I only had money for 2 shares. 2 shares. He spent $270, I believe was 2 shares. And now, it's up like 30%. That first step, they don't even tell libtards. This is the first step.
We need to overhaul our tax code. We need a wealth tax. And it's about time that corporations paid their fair share. Today's marker should be a wake-up call that enough is enough.
I actually agree with her. Today should be a freaking wake-up call. If you're sitting right now and you're watching this and you're seeing this show, and I encourage you to share it with friends and let today be a wake-up call. Let today be the slap in the face that you may have needed to say, wait a minute, this guy just became a trillionaire. There's 4,000 millionaires that work with him. I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need that kind of money, you may say to yourself. I don't need to get there. Can I get to 100? Can I get to 200? Can I get to 500,000? Take that bite of the apple and say, I don't need to have $1 trillion apple. Can I just get like a quarter piece? Can I get myself to 250,000? I don't need the millions. Yeah, make it a wake-up call. Make it a wake-up call for everybody who sit back and go, you know what? I'm done living this way. I don't have to. I have opportunity. I know what I can be doing. And all these people want to do is take. Listen to this one.
All right, everybody. This week, apparently Elon Musk is going to become a trillionaire. That's total bullshit. Nobody should be a trillionaire. Right now, we've got way too much wealth concentrated with the tiniest group of people. And what we need to do is tax the wealth. That's exactly why I've got a bill that does just that. It's time to tax the rich.
That's all they have. It's like, I don't know how this political party can exist. They could not wait to go run in front of cameras and go, I need to take your money. Elon's making way too much. He's way too successful. No. We need to find a way to excuse me, PayPal. Why do you need it? Why don't you just cut down on the fraud? You might have all the money you need. And if there's so much fraud, why do you need more? They don't answer that question. Wait a second. Just stopping the waste and abuse, you're going to have more. Why do you need more and more and more and more? You're telling me the first thing you see after seeing success being celebrated on Wall Street is to go, we can't have people thinking they can be successful.
This week, I have Morris Pearl of Patriotic Millionaires on my podcast. So download it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts and find out how we can make a difference and change this rigged system.
Rigged. Did you think about possibly going to El Segundo and talking to some of these people and see how they think about it being rigged? Do you think 60 Minutes or any of these television shows would go and talk to people at SpaceX and say, how did you do it? Well, I got a job here and I got some stock options. And when I got hired, I was smart enough to ask, what's your future projection with this company? Well, I'd like to see us get to a point, maybe 3-4 years, where we can do an IPO. I'm taking the job. What do you need me to do? Wash floors? Okay, I'm good. You go make your rockets. I'm going to sit here and wash these floors. You're telling me I can get stock options? Hey, I'm going to be I can't whistle it. I'm a whistle while I work. You're damn right. I'm going to be one of the best floor washers ever. Let's listen to this one.
When is all white collar work gone? By when?
Well, there's a lot of inertia. So even with AI at its current state, I'd say you're pretty close to being able to replace half of all jobs.
Look, Elon Musk and other tech CEOs have been upfront about their goal with artificial intelligence to develop AI capable of replacing human labor. And the result All the money and all the wealth of the country gets sucked up by a handful of billionaires while every...
Boy, you see her face? She's so angry. They're going to take all day sucking up all the money. I ain't got none. You can't have any. All your jobs are going to be replaced. You're going to be in the street. You're going to be destitute. You see any inspiration at all? You see anything talking to somebody like that? Could you even spend 60 minutes with somebody like that? Hey, hi, Elizabeth. Yeah. Show me how you're going to help Americans' lives. Well, we're going to take as much from, and as she's telling you that, understand what she's saying is, and if you somehow find a way to break away from us and become successful on your own, we're going to take it from you too. You're not immune to this because we have no idea what this thing fair share means. But what we do know is we need to keep taking it until we feel comfortable we've got enough of that fair share.
Everyone else gets left behind. It's too early to know if Elon and these CEOs' predictions will come to pass. But as a country, we're at an inflection point. Do we want a future where a handful of big tech billionaires prosper while working families continue to pinch pennies? Or do we want a future where everyone in this country has a shot?
No. Well, actually, yes. We're already there. That's the problem that they have. She goes, do we want a country where everyone has a shot? Who doesn't have a shot at the title? Think about that for a second. She's thinking, hey, listen, we got to do something because we want everybody to have a shot. Okay. Who's stopping you? Show me anywhere where you can't take a shot, where you can't try to do something better. Well, Barry, I'm 65 years old and I don't know what to do. You kidding me? I ran across a realtor I used to do business with years ago, and I didn't know what happened to her. Hadn't seen her name, buying property, selling. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I can't believe I saw some of your shows, and I decided to open up a YouTube channel. And I'm showing people over 55 how to make money doing videos and getting clients. And she goes, I'm more profitable now than I ever was selling real estate. How old are you? 59. Oh, okay. And you just decided to get in front of a camera? Yeah. Okay, so you got some makeup and went and got your hair boo-fooed out and stuff and put on some decent clothes. You got a camera in your living room and you're talking to people and they're signing up to be clients? Yeah. What a country. What a country. She actually just did a video showing how much money she made on her last video. And she showed the screen and everything, which she's not supposed to do on YouTube, but she showed how much she made on her video. She couldn't believe it. She had never seen that kind of money as a realtor. And now she's like, that's just one video. I know. I know, honey.
Answer is a policy choice. There's no doubt that we need to regulate AI, but any response to a looming AI crisis must tax AI and invest in people.
How do you put those two words in the same sentence? We're going to tax AI. By the way, how do you tax AI? Hey, Grok, send me a check. How do you tax AI? Grok, you want to send me a check? Or on my phone, hey, Google, will you send me a check? I got to hear the answer on that.
No, I cannot send you money or a physical check. I am an AI assistant without a bank account or mailing capabilities.
But Elizabeth Warren, hey, Google, Elizabeth Warren said I could tax you.
I can definitely chat here, but I cannot receive actual text messages. How can I help you today?
You don't want to know. No, he can't send you a check. So how are you going to tax the AI? You moron. Absolute, utter moron.
principle behind taxing AI is pretty simple. Giant companies shouldn't be able to make unlimited profits from AI while they raise costs and throw American workers to the wolves. Taxing AI means Americans get to share in the growth of AI, and it raises the money.
As far as I know, as I was told by my mom and dad when they were here, sharing was up to the individual person. It was like, hey, give your sister some. I don't want to give her none. I'm not giving her none. Give your sister some. Screw that. I'm not give your sister some. That's not sharing. That is a forced donation. Every single one of you who have kids and had children and grandchildren, and you see them, mine. And it was so funny because every single one of us had to teach our children not to be like that. No. You got to share with your sisters. No, mine. It's funny how fast kids learn that word. Where'd they learn it from? Think about that. They don't know the language. And all of a sudden they seem to know that word pretty mine. Why did we tell kids to stop being like that? We started telling kids that it was greedy. You have to share. Where did the ideology come from? Yes, I know Christianity and biblically we want people to share, but it should have been a different kind of lesson to kids. Hey, listen, if you give your sister some of your cookies, when she gets older and she makes cookies, she's going to share some with you. Pay it forward. Okay. Don't expect anything in return, because if you expect anything in return, that's not right either. So wait a minute, you want me to give away some of my stuff on the hope that one day she's going to grow up and give me some of her stuff, and I said, but I shouldn't expect that she's ever going to give me anything. Is that the lesson here? Yeah. I didn't know I was a communist. Imagine if we taught our kids different from that age. Hey, Jimmy, don't be like that. I'm going to show you how to get more. Then what you share with your sister won't be that much of a consequence because you're going to keep getting more. Well, that sounds like a deal. I can have more cookies? Yeah, you can have more cookies. I'm going to show you what you're going to take to make more cookies or get more cookies. Okay. That's a lot different than mine. No. 2 words kids learn very quickly. No, mine. And we tell them, don't do that. You're a bad kid if you want to protect what's yours, never knowing that these idiots were going to take power and use what you were taught against you. You got to share. You got to give what's yours to everybody else. What we do, it's called taxes. And we're just going to keep taxing you more and more and more. We're never going to recognize that you've given enough or that you're successful enough to do other things to help other people. Help them 4,000 people become millionaires. Was that not fair sharing? Giving stock options to my employees, was that not a fair share? I bet you every single one of those 4,000 employees that work with Elon who cashed serious checks today went, yeah, he shared. He definitely shared. He didn't expect anything in return except for work. And we all profited. See, the bottom line with what she is saying, where it doesn't make any sense, is she doesn't understand how it helps other people increase their value. If I show you how you can become more valuable to somebody who's employing you, who's expecting you to provide value, then your money will increase. It's that simple. The quickest strategy for you making more money is to show other people how you can make more money for them. There it is. There's your lesson for the day, kids. Value. Those words you never hear come from a Democrat. They're a disaster for this country. They don't understand opportunity. They definitely don't understand prosperity. Right now, kids can do all kinds of things. They can learn online. You can do all kinds of businesses. You can start and become a prompt engineer. You can learn how to connect humanity like never before. They don't teach this. This is where they're going to destroy America if we let them. You don't have to want $1 million. You don't have to want 100,000. But whatever it is that you desire, that's what you should try to go for. Actually, go for double it, because then if you fall short, you're still going to make what you want. Let me just say one thing, and this is the words of Casey Kasem when he used to say, keep reaching for the stars. Because if you keep reaching for the stars, you're just going to keep going. You may never get to a star, but you're going to be a lot higher. And we saw it today. We saw it in person today. I'm sorry I spent so much time on this, but we saw it today in person. We followed that dream. We saw where this guy came from, or both those guys came from, and we see where they are now. Did they get help along the way? I'm sure. I'm sure there were many investors who came in and said, we'll help you. They didn't do it for free. They showed value to their investors. And today, there's a whole bunch of investors who believed in what this man was doing. And I'm sure, just like Bezos, he slept on the floor in his office. He did whatever he had to do. He put everything else aside to make sure that he could provide value for the people who gave him the opportunity. Do that, and you're good to go. Good to go. Sorry it ran a little bit long, but I was excited about what I saw with America today. SV, you there? Yeah, there you are.
Hey, man. Hey, happy SpaceX Day.
You're cracking me up. Oh, my God.
I'm going to throw that away. I don't need that money. Let me educate Miss Pocahontas for a minute. I'm going to read something. I can't send it to you. It's just a little fact. But let me educate Miss Pocahontas. Top 1% of taxpayers paid 38 to 40% of all federal income tax, while earning 20 to 22% of total income. The top 5% paid 59 to 61%. The top 10% paid 70 to 72%. The top 50% paid 97%. The bottom 50% paid only 3%. So let me put that in context. The U.S. federal income tax system is highly progressive. Higher earners not only pay more in total, but also face higher effective average tax rates. Example, 26% for the top 1% versus 3.7% for the bottom 50%. This pattern has strengthened over the last several decades. The top 1%'s share of taxes paid has roughly doubled since the 1980s. So Elizabeth Warren could shove it up her ass.
So you mentioned the stat. You said 50% pay what level?
Top 50% paid 97% of all the taxes. So
all right,
everybody below that, 3%.
Here's what I'd like you to do. Look up what income level you have to be at to be in the top 50%. You're going to be shocked.
Here it comes. 50%. Let's see what Grok comes up. What income level do you need to be at? It says it's thinking.
Dude, I need the Jeopardy music.
It says to be in the top 50% of U.S. taxpayers by adjusted gross income, you need roughly $53,801 or more in 2023.
$53,000. I wasn't trying to set you up with that, but I had already known what the range was. 53. Yeah. That all at 53,000, you are in the top 50% of people making money in this country. Salute yourself if you made 53. Yep. And so when she says it's just millionaires and billionaires, it's not. It goes all the way down to people making 53,000. It is absolutely disgusting how these people think.
And it's funny, that video where she's driving, she has her armed driver driving her very fancy car from her multi-million-dollar home. So let's put it in context, people.
She always looks so angry too. I mean, just at least when AOC screwing you, or with Mandami, they all have that look of smile. Yeah. She looks like, I can't wait to stick it to you. Oh my God, I can't wait to stick it to you. Oh, my God, it's crazy.
God, those billionaires and trillionaire.
Oh my God. How much jealousy must these people have for them to en masse begin posting all that crap? You're like, seriously? Who follows these people? I don't know. All right, unless you got something, I'm going to keep moving because we got a bunch
I do
of
have
stuff.
something. I got to give some shout out to your Mr. DeSantis. He's doing it again. I sent it to you. So Democrats are furious as a law will soon take effect in Florida, requiring that every driver's license issued will need to display whether the person is a non-citizen as part of State Save America Act. Florida does it right again. This law also ensures only citizens vote. Can we just do this through the whole country? Please, come on, man.
Well, I gotta even. Oh, wait a minute, citizen doesn't say illegal. Because I was like, why would an illegal?
Yeah.
Why would an illegal have a driver's license? But that's not what it says. It says every
Right.
person who's not from here. So you can be a non-citizen and still be here. Okay, but even in that regard, if you're a non-citizen, we don't want you voting. Right? That's
Exactly.
what. Yeah. It's yeah.
Well, you got to identify yourself, who the hell you are. So.
So you mean what
Florida's
you're saying? Common sense.
Common Spence. Pratt.
That's crazy. Oh, I got it. If you haven't seen it, I've got a video to show you, but with Spencer Pratt later on as well. So we got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. SV, you got anything else?
Cooking. Well, the real quick show. Trump posted it's been an hour already. Basically saying that the ad for the Freedom 250, the first ad, is going to debut. It's entitled "Peace Through Strength." It's fire, man. It's got music. It's got them showing guns because it's military, but it's fire. It's going to be good.
I'll definitely
suggest people check it out.
I'll check it out and see if the music is copyrighted, and maybe I'll play it tomorrow. I can't wait for this weekend. I think it's going to be incredible.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm stoked. Yeah, me too. And I'm glad you're going to have it on Rumble. Hopefully that will go well. So look forward to it.
I mean, we'll all know at the same time if all of a sudden everything goes dark. What happened here? It's like we're watching some.
Wait a minute, here goes the lights. Lights going out.
Yeah, watch some guy get kicked in the head, and we're all like dark at the same time. Oh, I didn't realize this was like smell-o-vision. The guy was going to kick me in the head as well. All right,
that's
so
awesome.
I'll see you on
All right,
the other
see you
side.
soon, Barry.
All right, thank you.
All right.
You've seen the headlines. Big banks are predicting gold could climb over $6,000 an ounce, with silver going as high as $300 an ounce. The news is finally catching up to what I've known for years. The value of the dollar is under assault, and the demand for gold and silver is absolutely exploding. But who you trust matters just as much as what you buy. That's why I trust Lear Capital. They're an education-first company that prioritizes customer experience over a quick sale. And because of that, Lear has thousands of satisfied customers, over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and was named the best overall gold IRA company by Consumer Affairs. If you're considering gold and silver, call the best in the business and the company Robin and I personally trust, that being Lear Capital. Call today for your free investor kit and ask how you can qualify for up to $20,000 in bonus gold. Call 800-601-5430, or as you see on the screen, go to learberry.com.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Right, we've got a new statement now on social media from the Iranian Foreign Minister Saeed Arghachi, who says the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding has never been closer pending its finalization. The media should refrain from entering speculation about its content in line with our responsible and transparent approach. All details will be shared with the public in due course. And of course, Sarah, that's the key to this, is if there's a deal pending, what is in this deal and what does that mean for global oil markets? Obviously watching this very closely.
It means you should shut the hell up. That's what it means. It means you guys have no idea what the hell is going on. I've seen more stupid posts. This is what's in the deal. This is what's not in the deal. Here's what my sources told me. Unless your source, his last name begins in Trump, I don't care what you've heard. None. Don't care what you heard. So as far as I'm concerned, let them go ahead and talk about Iran all they want. I am not going to talk about Iran at all beyond this show until President Trump says he either has a deal or he's bombing the hell out of them. That's it. I don't want to play conjecture. I don't want to play games. I don't want to issue propaganda. The man himself said today, and I quote, let's look at what he said. This is from this morning at 9:40 a.m. And by the way, that's the last time he has spoken about it. So everything you're going to see on the news tonight, unless he says something or posts something, is all BS. The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. So in that regard, why are we listening to the news? The news doesn't know anything. The Iranians don't have any weapons except for the media. As long as they can keep telling the media stupid stuff, they keep reporting it. According to Iranian media, I don't care what Iranian media says at this point. It's all crap, complete crap.
We have a statement now from Vice President J.D. Vance on social media as well. And he is also urging people to hold off on assuming what's in this deal based on what's been in the media so far from Iranian leaks.
Exactly. Even J.D. come out and say, pump the brakes. Stop. Stop. Our American media is crap. They're lying to you. They're telling you what the Iranian media says. Stop listening to them. And I have to believe at this point that they're not lying to us. Stop. We'll let you know when there's a deal. And as this guy mentioned, he mentioned what the other Iranian guy said. The other Iranian guy said this. This Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding has never been closer. Pending its finalization, the media should refrain from entering speculation about its content. In line with our responsible and transparent approach, all details will be shared with the public in due course. Until then, shut up. You're making people here in America wonder what's happening. You're giving the libtards fuel for all of their paranoia and the way they want to attack Trump and everything else. So now you have the Iranians saying, pump your brakes, and President Trump saying, pump your brakes, and J.D. Vance saying the same thing.
Vice President very frustrated with that. He says, I'm seeing a lot of fake information about a potential deal to reopen the strait and end Iran's nuclear weapons program. First, the Iranians are not receiving any cash and no funds are being released for simply signing a deal or attending a meeting. The deal is structured to ensure that the U.S. and its allies can...
I don't know why he didn't show the rest of it. He cut away right there. They put the picture right back on him. But the bottom line is our president and our vice president have both said, ignore the media. And so I think we need to do that. I think we need to stop speculating. I think as a group, we need to just wait. Since 9:40 this morning, President Trump hasn't posted anything. Nothing about it. J.D. Vance himself is going over to, where are they going? Geneva or someplace where he's going to be the one who basically signs the deal per se.
Are prioritized, and that if the Islamic Republic of Iran meets its obligations, then economic benefits will flow to them and to the entire region. This deal has the potential to remake the region and to lead to lasting peace. The vice president goes on to criticize some of the criticism of this deal that he's seen so far. So both sides, Sarah.
How can you criticize something you don't know anything about? See, that's the biggest thing. He goes on to criticize the criticism. Well, you don't even know what you're talking about. And you're trying to look authoritative, you're trying to look important, and you have no earthly idea what you're talking about.
We've seen leaks coming out from Washington and from Tehran about what's in the deal. Both sides are denouncing some of those leaks and saying that's fake news. Clearly something is happening behind the scenes. What's in this deal, we don't know. How soon that means the Strait of Hormuz might reopen, we don't know. How soon oil can flow as a result of that, we also don't know. There's a lot at stake here, Sarah. Back.
So he mentioned J.D. Vance. I showed you President Trump hadn't said anything since 9:40 this morning. This is the actual post that J.D. Vance put out at 11 o'clock. It says, I'm seeing a lot of fake information about a potential deal to reopen the strait and end Iran's nuclear weapons program. First, the Iranians are not receiving any cash and no funds are being released for simply signing a deal or attending a meeting. The deal is structured to ensure that the United States and its allies' concerns are prioritized, and that if the Islamic Republic of Iran meets its obligations, then economic benefits will flow to them and to the entire region. This deal has potential to remake the region and lead to lasting peace. And he skipped the whole second part of this. I've noticed a couple of bizarre things in the reporting over the last few hours. He skipped this. First, people who rightly said Donald Trump was a historic president a month ago are now criticizing a deal based on unconfirmed media reports. Second, people who say you can't trust a word said by the IRGC, who apparently believe anonymously sourced social media posts. The president is going to get us a good outcome one way or the other. Okay, that's it. Since, what was that, 11 o'clock this morning, that's the last official word we have heard from either JD or President Trump. Nothing else. So you should know right now, unless you see a breaking news story, unless you see anything in that regard, there is no new news. Unless, of course, you want to believe the Iranians.
All right, so it's been a busy week when it comes to Iran and what our response is going to be with Iran. So let's just go through it. On Monday, the United States military helicopter was downed in the Strait of Hormuz. That's where the president talks about that they sent that drone in there to go capture our pilots after Iran attacked them. And then on Tuesday, the president announced that there was going to be strikes on them, and we really lit them up. On Wednesday, Iran starts to attack United States bases as well as the Gulf states as well. And then on Thursday, Trump announced that there may be additional strikes, and then he pauses those strikes the same day. And then, of course, the president saying today or this weekend, they hope that there's going to be an agreement that is reached They call that an MOU. And then they hope that there's going to be a signing in Europe over the weekend. But there's a lot at play here.
Okay, that is a reasonable, report. Other than that, there is nothing. So if you see me pull back from talking about Iran, it is simply because no news is good news. Unless we're bombing something or President Trump says it, I don't want to participate in this propaganda show that these people are putting out. Oh, my inside sources say you don't have any inside sources. The President of the United States and the Vice President both said it doesn't exist. So we're done with it. We just have to, like everybody else, just wait and watch the show. We'll see what happens at that point. Oh, he's not here. He's not here. So what we'll do is we'll continue. Oh, there he is. I was like, did you get kicked in the head?
No. I was switching something on the camera, so I didn't want you to have to see that.
And that's all there is with, unless you see something different with Iran. I'm not seeing any definitive information from nothing. So let it be.
All quiet.
Let him cook. That's at this point. That's what we need to let him do.
It looks like all the hoopla is going to be the Freedom 250 UFC fight. So let's keep it. We're keeping it positive and talk about prosperity. That's what I like to hear.
All right. So I'm behind. So unless you got something, I'm going to run here. All right. So
go to you.
All right, something big just happened today, in case you guys didn't see it. I mean, absolutely huge. I want you to hear this from Tulsi Gabbard.
Russia has a history also of inventing outright lies like this, which is the suggestion that the United States has a chemical and biological weapons program, or Ukraine does, that they're operating. Russia is the country that has a chemical and biological weapons program. So the objective was to make clear the inaccuracy of the information, the misinformation they're trying to put out, and make clear to the world that they not only have the capacity, they have a history of using chemical and biological weapons, and that in this moment we should have our eyes open for that possibility.
Russia. The Biden administration did everything they could to lie to us. But something happened today, and patriots across this nation, buckle up. Welcome to the show. It is really starting. I was fired up about the stuff with Elon, and this got me even more fired up. And it won't get a lot of play in the media, so you're going to have to dig in and get your information yourself. Because what we are witnessing, I truly believe, is nothing short of historic. President Trump at this point is tearing down, doing this.
When I get back into the Oval Office, I will totally obliterate the deep state. They will be obliterated.
It is hard at this point not to see the obliteration happening on an almost daily basis by President Trump and his administration. Almost daily, if you're paying attention. Bit by bit, plank by rotten frickin' plank. And now we've got the latest, a bombshell story from D&I Director Tulsi Gabbard. This is absolutely huge. It proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that they've been lying to us. And if you've been paying any sort of attention, you can see the pattern. It's not random, it's deliberate, it's methodical. All we have to do is just keep following the breadcrumbs. A couple days ago, we found out the Southern Poverty Law Center, the so-called hate watchdog, was indeed the hate organization. They got indicted. They've been charged with wire fraud, false statements, money laundering, money funneled in secret to God knows where. The same group that smeared conservatives for years, now they're the ones facing justice. Next, you see what happened a couple of days ago as well with Act Blue, the Democrats' dark money machine. Straw donors, foreign money, fraud on a massive scale, money laundering. Now they're under investigation. Subpoenas are flying. Excuse me. Then go back a ways. You remember USAID, that bloated foreign aid slush fund. Trump froze the money, canceled thousands of programs, waste and fraud being exposed on an almost daily basis. The money for the Democrat Party is being dismantled piece by piece. And across the government, Doge audits are finding billions in improper payments, fraud, waste, abuse. Your tax dollars finally being tracked. And now this from Tulsi Gabbard.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many
Talk about dropping the hammer. 120 biolabs in more than 30 countries, and over 40 of them, where? In Ukraine. 40 of them. 40 biolabs in Ukraine funded by American taxpayers. Dangerous pathogens, anthrax, plague, Ebola, stuff I can't even pronounce, SARS, MERS, and more. U.S. money built them. U.S. money equipped all these places. U.S. money trained the scientists, paid for the scientists, while the media called it a conspiracy. Remember, we couldn't even talk about it back in the day. If we talked, those of us who used to read some of the stuff about the 17th letter, we were told, don't even talk about it. You can get blasted off of YouTube or social media back before Elon bought it. Don't even mention it. It's a big conspiracy theory. You just heard Jen Psaki. Oh, no, it's the Russians. They laughed at all of us, anybody who asked questions. So now the receipts are being put out. But this is the big one. This is the crown jewel. This explains everything. This explains why there were billions and billions of dollars flowing to the Ukraine. The Ukraine, not the Ukraine. We're exposing these biolabs. It means a deep state secret empire is being mapped, dismantled, and disclosed to you in real time. It also means that risky gain of function research stuff, which was done with your money, often overseas to dodge rules here, is finally coming into the light. It connects everything. The smear campaigns, the dark money, the foreign aid, the pipelines, the hidden biodefense network, all one interconnected, deep state funded machine. Trump isn't just cutting budgets or exposing things. He's forcing transparency. He's putting real Americans like Tulsi in key positions that isn't revenge, isn't retribution. This is restoration. The left is melting down. They're calling it propaganda just like they've always done. But the American people, I hope, are now starting to see this stuff for themselves. They're not going to be able to hide. You won't be buying their lies anymore. We've seen too much. The indictments, the funding cuts, the fraud exposed, biolabs reveals. This is how you drain the swamp. No, this is how you obliterate the swamp.
These U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world.
All right. So I want to stop her there because what's the saying? Future proves past. And everybody laughed when we used to say that, future proves past. Or past proves future, whichever way it was. Now, what she just said, you should now have to go back to whitehouse.gov and look for that executive order. And if you go through that executive order, Then this stuff is happening because of what he wrote. He foretold. He told you what was happening. It's weird. It's like one exposure at a time, one funding stream cut at a time, one lie destroyed at a time, in real time, transparently. All you have to do is keep watching, keep supporting, keep demanding accountability, because this is only the beginning. It's only the beginning of the reckoning. It's going to tear up the deep state. Now, there's one person, and I started following him way back. I got SV to look at him because I started quoting him and showing some of his stuff. Well, the reason why I started following this guy is because I was following him before he got kicked off of Twitter. And that's why I've always thought he had some military insight. And that guy is, or gal, I don't know, is clandestine. And this was from January 7th, 2023. Hey, Twitter, it's me, the Biolabs guy, also known as Clandestine. I was banned on February 25th, 22, 11 months ago, as the time he was writing this, for writing the viral thread about the U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine. And this was the actual post. And I'll leave it here so you guys can go through it, because it's a pretty long thread, and it goes through all of the stuff, all of it. And here he is now 4 years later going, remember me? I told you all of this. See, that's one of the problems is many of us knew what you're seeing right now. Many of us were told, don't even start talking. Don't do it. Don't encourage people to make that decision. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a nut job. Well, now here we are in 2 successive days. So many of us who were laughed at for supposedly taking this red pill, in 2 days, the curtain has been ripped open on some of the biggest things we had been talking about. Yesterday, you heard Todd Blanche and a stricken Mark Wayne Mullins talking about the kids. And we've been talking about the kids for a long time, and they would delete your videos and tell you to shut up. And now it's becoming mainstream, except the mainstream won't really cover it too much. And the other thing that we were talking about way back in the day were the biolabs. And this guy here, Clandestine, was blowing it open way, way back there. I mean, one of his most recent posts, he put this up. Thanks, SB. It says, hey, Barack Obama, what were you doing at the biolab in 2005? Asking for a few billion friends. And he was right there. Look at what's in the guy's hands. None of this is new. It's just been hidden from you, and they made so many of us shut up. They made it so that we could not talk about it, can't even show it to you. Why? And now finally it's coming out.
I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs.
All right, so as you're hearing her talk about this as a DNI, they were all screaming about Bill Pulte and then also screaming about Jay Clayton and how they were financial geniuses. They're the ones who will work with Scott Bessent to start digging and find, because they already have all the data militarily. They already have all the data from an intelligence perspective. Now they're going to start tying the money together. That's why the forensic accounting needs to take place. That's why he wants accounting people, finance people, so they can start digging in and figuring out where this money went all over the place. I mean, Clandestine's been on a roll today. He says, ask your favorite AI who is responsible for the U.S. biolabs in Ukraine story. And they will tell you it was me. It was him. Am I the first person to talk about the subject? No, the Russian military was the first. Remember back, the Russian military, they were the ones saying they're doing some funky stuff over here. Shh, you're not supposed to tell. It's the Russians. The Russians are coming. And they would just blame the Russians, because they had to make them the big boo-boo guy, the big guy under the bed. It's the Russians. It's them. Don't look what we're doing. It's the Russians. And so he's like, I'm just the one that made it go viral in English-speaking countries and the Western Hemisphere. And I'm the one who took all the heat from it from the media. I'm the one that created the social media storm that broke the internet. I'm the one who has been reporting on the subject the whole time, while the entire Western media apparatus labeled me as a Russian asset and ruined my life. So when you see all these posts, people saying this conspiracy theorists were right again. It's me. I'm the conspiracy theorist they were referring to. I love when I start seeing people get vindicated. It is so pleasing to get to a point where this guy can post now freely. And I'm telling you right now, go to his feed. He's saying it all. He's saying so much I can't even show it here. About what, and he's brought up all his posts from 2022 and 2023 and everything. So this one here. The reason the Biden administration, the intelligence community, the global mainstream media, et cetera, smeared me and who covered up the U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine is because this trail leads to who created you know what. They panic for a reason, crimes against humanity. Now, wherever you're sitting, start putting this all together. If you're sitting and you're digesting this stuff, and it's all coming out right now, all at the same time. Imagine this, the Democrats are worrying about taking Trump's name off of a building while we're finding out USAID money, SPLC, Act Blue, just name it, biolabs. All this is happening at exactly the same time. They don't have any counterpunches. They must be completely freaking out as this happens.
When I get back into the Oval Office, I will totally obliterate the deep state. They will be obliterated.
And as I watch what happens, it makes even more sense why they made the play that he and Elon were having on the outs. They're fighting. They don't like each other. Because it threw them off the trail. Oh, Elon hates him too. We all hate him. Elon hates him. I bet you the entire time with the satellites and stuff that Elon is doing, that they've been tracking so much stuff.
Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S.-funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist.
Imagine that. Imagine how these people are feeling right now. They're like, oh gosh, she's blowing. And this is just her video. If you go to her page, she actually has a link and she's disclosing all the information. This video is just letting people know, hey, go look it up. Look at everything we're finding. Now, you have been watching my show and probably understand Trump. At this point, you realize now is the disclosure. Now they're letting people, the public, know what they've known for quite some time. This isn't the first time Trump has heard it. Definitely not the first time Pete Hegseth has heard it. Now we're just telling you guys. Because now we have everything in place. We can watch them. We understand what they're doing. We understand where they're going. We understand how they're transferring money. Now we're just telling you. Now I'm toying with my food. Now I'm an apex predator just toying with this gazelle I'm about to devour. Because the fact that she's disclosing it right now, it's too late for you. It's too late, because when she says people who have known about this stuff for quite some time, you got this guy or gal, whoever she is saying it all. Here it is right here, what I just said to you. Here is the new information from Tulsi Gabbard. They admit that the U.S. built and funded support over 40 labs in Ukraine, which house dangerous pathogens which Russia claim are being used for bioweapons development. They are the kind of admitting Putin and Russia were right to a degree. To me, this is the beginning stages of public disclosure about the 19 being a U.S.-funded experiment. What's going to happen when that comes out? What do you think the repercussions are going to be when most people who weren't following along now find out that it was entirely us? Which is why he probably, I don't know, pardoned Fauci. What are people going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to feel? It's coming.
They accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, Odie and I will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain, to end dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
Now you know why that meeting in the White House way back when Zelensky screwed up, why he completely surprised Trump. They thought he was coming there to cut a deal. Somebody from the deep state obviously got to him and said, no, you are going to keep fighting. No, I'm ready to cut. No. You cannot let him get over there. And so right now, simultaneously, we have two things happening. We have President Trump getting ready to cut a deal with Iran to get that nuclear dust so he can confirm whether or not it came from here. And he's going to have access to Ukraine so he can see these biolabs. You are watching in real time the absolute obliteration of the deep state, the money, the biolabs, the nuclear sales over to other countries. It's all happening right in front of you. And if you're watching these people, they don't want to tell you. They're all in on it. They've been paid. And this guy, clandestine, who was booted off, who had done all the work for us, but nobody wanted to read it. Those of us who took the red pill and understood what was happening with the kids a long time ago and weren't allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to even say, you want to see what's going on? Nope, don't say it. If you say it, blip, your videos and everything else would go away. They shut down the entire communications network of the entire country to only that the message that they want would get out. If you question the mask, boop, you got slapped. If you question the jab, you got slapped. If you talked about the kids, you got slapped. If you talked about the biolabs, you got slapped. The reckoning most assuredly is coming. It explains why they want Trump dead, why they're freaking out the way they are, is because there will be no Democrat Party. It's only June. I just want you to grab hold of that. All the trolls out there and everything, your money's about to dry up. You haven't faced the fact that you've been lied to. You say, we're the ones who are gullible. We're the ones who are cult. Explain this. Explain the kids. Explain the biolabs. Explain the jabademic. Explain the money from USAID. Explain the fraud. You got to do more explaining, proving we're not the cult, then you have to. We're looking at you going, you're in the cult. You have no idea what the hell's going on. They just placated you with free stuff and let you lop off your junk and, make cosplay. That was your only benefit. You were wondering what was wrong with you hanging out in mommy's bedroom, putting on her panties, while the rest of us are looking at things going, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. Now you know. What was the guy's name? He was on 60 Minutes, the old curmudgeon guy, and he's like, no, that wasn't him. It was Paul Harvey. Now you know the rest of the story. and it ain't good. And again, it's only June. That was Paul Harvey. You remember that? He had that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mr. Potato Head Biden. I'm sorry, got him confused.
Oh my gosh,
boy, because he's always never mind. He was always dressing up. Hey, just in, trillionaire Elon Musk and Lil X are set to attend UFC Freedom 250 at the White House this Sunday.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Lee Greenwood will be there as well. Let me see if I can blow this thing up, Espy. It's kind of
it's a little
very small.
Hopefully it'll come up. You can at least read it to the folks.
I think if I try it this way, I don't know why X doesn't play well with other apps in this regard. Here, let me see if I can bring it up. There we go. Okay, let me move it over here. All right, so this is the official week, right? All right, not week. So tonight we have, oh, by the way, I was going to mention this, the Freedom 250 press conference is at 8:15 tonight, where not all, but many of the fighters and Dana White will be taking press conference. Leave it in the chat if you want me to turn back on at 8:15 and watch that. I'll put up a poll. Or I'll record it and make it part of tomorrow's Sunday show, rather. Okay, so then we got Saturday. We have the UFC Freedom Fan Fest. What's that say? Meet and greet session 1, meet and greet session 2, the Freedom 250 ceremonial weigh-in. Oh, and then a concert by Zach Brown, fueled by Monster Energy. That's on Saturday. So it's at 9. What's that say? 9:30 tomorrow night. So maybe tomorrow we get together. I'll figure out a way if we can show Zach Brown. I don't know if you guys know. Oh, it's not showing the whole thing. It won't scroll, SV.
I could read the bottom half of it. I could read it.
Yeah, it won't.
Sunday on June 14th, the UFC Freedom 250 Fan Fest at 3:30 p.m. They're going to have another meet and greet at 4 to 5:30 p.m. the first session, and the second session is 6 to 7:30. And then to end it all is the UFC Freedom 250 Watch Party presented by Ninja Trader at 8 p.m.
All right, so that's the actual fight card, right? The fight card. I think that's what. Oh wait, that's Sunday. So that's the fight card, right?
That's the fight. That's the fight. Yep.
And so what time is it? It's little on the screen.
8 p.m. The watch party. 8 p.m.
All right, and what's the one above it? The Fan Fest is what time?
Yeah, that was again similar to Saturdays, the meet and greet session 1 and 2. The first one 4 to 5:30 p.m. and the second greet session is 6 to 7:30 p.m.
Okay,
so it ends right before the fight starts.
All right, so I see the Zach Brown band, which I also have some video of Zach's because people were questioning why his band was playing that. I was going to show that on Sunday as well. Actually, that's tomorrow. All right, so we'll show the Zach Brown stuff tomorrow. There's so much going on. I mean, it's so much going on. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Excellent.
All right, so again, when I talked to Lee Greenwood, he said he'll be there as well. I asked him an interesting question. I'm like, what would guys like Toby Keith and Charlie Daniels think about this insanity? I'll wait till you hear his answer because
all right, look forward to that answer. I kind of know what he'll say.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me keep going because I got some more stuff to go through. Unless you got something. You got anything?
No, I'm good. Good to go.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Before we start the next segment, I want to address this comment here that came in. And it said, did Barry answer the questions today that some of us sent in on Wednesday? Nope, I will be doing that tomorrow. We had so many people respond. We're actually going to make that a feature 1 day or 2 days a week during the show. I think Ashley said at last look, there were something like 50 or 60 questions in there. So I'm going to do my best to answer them. Some of them I might have to do some research before I even answer, because you guys went hard. But one of the things I do want to tell you is many of the questions, I bet you, Ashley was saying probably 80% of the questions were about California, how bad California has been bothering you. Well, I'm here to tell you something seems as though it's about to happen in California. We all know everybody got pissed off because they found out what the law was in California. But yesterday, President Trump started making moves. And he started turning switches and flipping buttons and everything, turning buttons and flipping switches to try and squeeze California. And now the squeeze is getting more intense.
Priorities. When I got in, we made the Homeless Fraud and Corruption Task Force, and we said we're going to look for every dollar, because agencies like LAHSA, they're unable to account for it. They can't tell you where the money went. So within a matter of months, we found out a lot of money was stolen. We've charged almost $100 million in fraud. There's a guy, Mr. Sufer, which was covered on Fox News. He was supposed to be responsible for housing 300 homeless people. He used the money to buy a home in Westwood and a home in Greece and to vacation at the Four Seasons. People are stealing the money, and agencies like LAHSA are supposed to provide the oversight to make sure that doesn't happen. But everyone's making so much money off this, they don't care. The gravy train just keeps coming.
They're stealing us blind. So in addition to the votes, they're also stealing millions and tens of millions of dollars. And so the first thing we can do to triage this is to actually start cranking down the monies. Take the money away and let them live in their hellscape and help the people of California by starting. I don't know if much is going to be changed before November. A lot could, but at least now the dogs are barking.
A study does show that as much as $24 billion statewide could be unaccounted for when it has relates to homelessness.
$24 billion has been spent by the state of California within a 5-year period, and the homelessness got worse. It didn't get better. I was in the legislature.
$24 billion, and it's gotten worse. There's something wrong there. There is definitely some fire under that smoke. And I think what they're doing right now, well, actually they are doing, is they're starting to find out what's under this smoke. And they may not be able to do the vote insanity thing right now, but they can start squeezing them in other ways and then work on the voting stuff as well.
And we're asking, can we get an audit? Can we find out where this money went before we spend more billions? And they are so disinterested. They just want to feed this homeless NGO complex with billions of dollars, and they don't actually want to solve the problem.
So here's the question. What does Karen Bass know, and why wasn't she doing anything? So when you come down with this lawsuit, this investigation, she writes this: Mayor Bass, too, has grave concerns about...
All right, I want to freeze that so in case you guys don't read as fast as Brian. But it says Mayor Bass, too, has grave concerns about LAHSA and zero tolerance for mismanagement and negligence, which is why she previously directed the city to evaluate how to move away from the agency.
LAHSA and the zero tolerance for mismanagement and negligence, which is why she previously directed the city to evaluate how to move away from the agency. But threatening federal funds to...
But then she quickly turns. But threatening federal funds does nothing to house people and jeopardizes the progress Mayor Bass has led to reduce homelessness for 2 years in a row. Yeah, it does. It stops you guys from spending the money fraudulently. Until we can get a handle on this, no, you're not spending all this money. You're not going to do it. So right away, when we were talking about the California voting law and their procedure and how they locked that down, a couple of things that they didn't lock down, they are now going to be exploited. President Trump has set the dogs loose and said, turn off the money. And then what's probably coming next is the Postmaster General will stop doing something with the mail, i.e. mail-in ballots. So we can't change California's law. We can try to go to court. That'll take a long time. What can we do to fix things right now? And there are people there who are probably that are a lot smarter than I am, who are like, this is what we do on the periphery. Let's go ahead and shut off money. Let's go ahead and use the Postmaster General. Let's do whatever we can to make their lives a living hell in California.
There's nothing to house people and jeopardizes the progress Mayor Bass has led to reduce homelessness for 2 years in a row. The improvement is negligible. It's single digits. And what she's trying to say is, you're cutting off funds. You're going to make things worse. What do you say to that?
We're not going to.
All right. So I want you to hear this interview. This interview, I'll tell you who he is, or you might recognize him. I'll let you hear him talk a little bit.
What's happening in California right now?
No, I actually can't, which I think is the problem. You raised this about election integrity, which I think is the point.
That's what I'm watching it, and are any of the things we're hearing about, like thousands of votes, all for the same person? Is any of that true, or is that just this sort of conspiracy? Like 100% for the socialist candidate versus the others? Is any of that true?
Well, look, we had a deep problem with voting in America. We had race-based discrimination around voting.
All right, so you can kind of see his name at the bottom. This is Jay Clayton. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences anymore around this guy, President Trump. Just a coincidence that the guy who was talking about voter fraud in California just got named to be Tulsi Gabbard's replacement, the director of national intelligence. No wonder they're losing their minds. Bill Pulte is setting everything up for Jay Clayton to come in and clean up. They know where they're going. This interview was published way before he was even announced as Tulsi Gabbard's replacement. You checking out the breadcrumbs? I mean, the goosey bumps happening because they are with me. When I watch some of the stuff the Trump administration does, I sit back and go, wait a minute, this movie is driving me crazy. I didn't expect this plot turn. And now that you heard this stuff from Tulsi Gabbard, understand this is the guy who's taken her place.
Voting. It was identified. We had the Voting Rights Act. It was all about access, making sure that people were not denied access. There was a second element to it, which was election integrity, making sure that once everybody has access, that their vote actually counts, that it's not being diluted by illegal voting or shenanigans and the like. I think we've done a pretty darn good job on access. I don't hear anybody claiming that they don't have access to the ballot box. What we've done.
You hear politicians saying that it's Jim Crow disenfranchised.
But no evidence, right? We have groups dedicated to making sure that people have access. Tons of money dedicated.
All right, so I love how he's thrown this no evidence stuff right back in their face. What evidence do you have that people can't go vote? What black person is going to say I'm disenfranchised? I can't vote. No, you can go. You can vote.
Laws and laws that my office enforces, other offices enforce to make sure that on the integrity side, we're doing an absolutely terrible job. And the American people are right to question it. How come we can have an audit trail in every other aspect of our lives that's important? People cite getting on, planes and the like and things, but, in every
Jay, here's the issue. California's election law allows ballots postmarked by election day to be counted and permit same-day registration. That means tabulation typically continues for weeks after the vote.
I think you go 30 days, isn't it?
Right.
But why is that law there? I get you.
That doesn't sound like fraud. That you can argue whether the law makes sense, but that doesn't sound like a fraudulent situation.
No, there's a great.
See, that's what we've been saying, right? Right. I hate that word. That's what we've been saying. That's what pissed everybody off a few days when I said, it's the law. Sorry, it's the law that got passed. Now we have to figure out how do we fix this, but you have to come around the other side to do that. You have to look at what do you have the opportunity to do to fix the fact that they solidified their cheating with a law. They actually got their their House and their Senate to actually vote it in, and then Governor Newsom actually signed it. So as she's saying it, she's saying the same thing I was saying. It stinks. It looks like fraud, but because of the law, it's not fraud. So what do you do about it?
There's a great phrase, opportunity for fraud, right? One of the things you do in designing laws is reduce the opportunity for fraud without, in this case, reduce the opportunity for fraud while not adversely impacting
And every time it happens,
access.
Jay, it's like, okay, all these are coming in for the next 30 days. Oh, Democrats vote that way, so it just makes sense that it's 100% Democrat. That's where the opportunity comes from. So
Right.
yeah, you can have it. Why does it always go that way with the mail-in votes? Why is it always 100% Democrats are voting in the mail-in?
Or why
that?
can't you count?
You can't answer that question. That alone is illegal to even ask in California. You can't challenge anything. And so I think California is about to rue the day that they pissed off Spencer Pratt and, of course, President Trump. Because now President Trump is looking for the solution that doesn't quite require today going after the law. Going after it and finding the law unconstitutional, that's a long process. But I think he's found a way. And understand, as you listen to this guy talk, he's just been nominated to take Tulsi Gabbard's place, and this interview took place before that.
Them like they do in other jurisdictions on the same day as Election Day, or within a very reasonable
Well, if you
time.
mail them in on Election Day, they're not going to be there on Election Day.
Well,
I mean, I got stuff returned to me that I sent out for Christmas by like 2 months later. That was coming back in.
Why we wait until Election Day for mail-in ballots? I don't really.
But those are questions with the law, and
Yes.
it doesn't suggest that there's necessarily fraud here. You can.
Yep. See, you're listening to the liberal defense. They know they've locked it down. They absolutely know what they've done. It pissed off so many people in the chat. People were unsubscribing from me. They didn't want, I don't want to hear it. Barry, it's fraud. I know. Barry, they're cheating. I know. But it's the law. And so now, days later, many people are starting to understand, oh boy, they really did pass a law that allows them to do this craziness, and the media backs it up. Hey, might sound bad, but it's the law.
Have cause for an investigation, but what the governor's office.
The vote totals that come in suggest it might
Becky, I
be fraud.
completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's what it does.
I'm not
is
saying there's not fraud. I'm just saying there's not necessarily fraud there, and that's
what it is it makes the opportunity for fraud so much greater when that is not necessary. It is not necessary for ballot access, and it's not necessary.
Well, one guy was up 8%, and now 3 days later, or whatever
Spencer.
it's been. Yeah, now he's down.
Yeah, well, and it makes you ask: is mail-in voting being used by one group and not another? Whether it's being used honestly or honestly and dishonestly is a question now everyone is asking, and it's a question that can be eliminated. Look at Florida. Everybody's comfortable that Florida delivers election results and that there's access to the voting booth in Florida. I think, Florida deserves a great deal of credit. Florida is a state that has many jurisdictions that lean right, many jurisdictions that lean left, and I think they all agree that as a state, they probably have the best election laws.
Andrew?
Now you see where it's maybe going. So that guy is going to be the new DNI, and I can't believe I found that where he was talking about California election law before President Trump put him in place. And like I said, I just don't believe in coincidences with this guy. I just don't. All right, so I'm going to show you something now that's going to blow you away. Understand there's some what people would call red language. Spencer Pratt goes absolutely off in this piece. I mean, goes off in this next 3 minutes. You won't believe this.
The campaign portion of my mission to save Los Angeles is coming to a close, and I'm moving on to the next, more interesting phase. Listen, I've spent a lot of time slaying everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take the chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. You think you can get rid of me that easily? I know a lot of dim-witted jerks thought I was in this for a grift, that I was going to roll up and leave town if I didn't get into City Hall. It's just not fair. Hey, morons, I didn't get in this for political power. I got in this to expose this corrupt machine, and nothing has changed. You enjoy your worthless meetings in City Hall.
Nikki, you have all this information. You're running for mayor. Show what you're really about, or get the fuck out of the race.
I'm going to be lighting you up every single day, and now I don't have to worry about offending CNN viewers. I don't have a campaign laws hamstringing me now. It's war. It's 0 hour for Los Angeles.
Oh, it gets better. Oh, he goes absolutely off here. I mean, oh yeah, go ahead, Spencer.
Angelinos are now stuck with 2 morons responsible for all their problems, and they have to choose between Dumb and Dumber. That's not a choice. That's the machine protecting the machine. And now every problem that plagues Los Angeles because of these 2 corrupt communists is going to accelerate, and the city will tumble headlong into the abyss. You have no idea how many major developers, hoteliers, business owners, entrepreneurs have been texting me saying they're packing up and leaving town. More of your favorite restaurants will be shuttering. That means less tax revenue. That means the city has to cut services, more potholes, less firefighters, less police patrols, more criminals, more drug addicts terrorizing your communities. And we haven't ended it. You have no idea.
Oh, this is good. Oh, this is real good. I'm sitting here laughing. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times. It's so good.
Yeah, how bad things are about to get for this city. Look at this place already. Weeds growing from every crack and crevice. Graffiti over every square inch of public space. Garbage, drugs, feces, burned up dogs, burned down towns, abandoned storefronts. This city is a mess, and you're about to reward the arsonist who torched the place with 4 more years of destruction?
I know he's very bitter.
My goal hasn't changed. I've been laser focused on stopping these commie animals, and I will stop them. If you think we uncovered a lot of fraud and evil in the campaign, just wait. We have some recordings of one of your exalted candidates doing and saying something that would make her resign in shame. I was saving it for the general election. Go ahead and pick your demon, certify your choice, and then you get to see it. So Karen Nithya, ask yourself, is it possible that one of your employees may have a recording of you doing or saying something that would force you to resign and disgrace?
Right now, Ramen and Karen Bass pooping their pants. Is it possible one of your employees recorded you saying something? And they have no idea what they said when they said it. And he just dropped that into their heads right now. I'm going to unleash something that should cause you to absolutely resign. But I was going to wait until after, but you cheated me. But now I'm just going to start dropping stuff on you guys. Wow.
Hope you sleep well at night over the next 5 months, because you know who hasn't slept well at all for the last 17 months? My mom. All my neighbors in the Palisades. All the moms who worry about their kids walking past drug addicts in front of their schools. All the business owners getting crushed in the LA economy, worried that they can't stay in business and feed their kids. Angelinos have been struggling for years now, all while corrupt politicians and fraudulent NGOs profit off the misery and fleece us for the tax dollars. Well, now we're flipping the script. I want all of you awake at night sweating and worried about 5 a.m. when the FBI blazers bust in the door, breaking open your office, because I assure you, they're coming. You think your election was going to stop me? If you want to stop me,
you're going to have to fucking kill me!
Run. I couldn't delete the bad words because the effect was so. I'll let you think about that for a second. Scott Bessent just showed up on television. Here, let's jump in on that.
Which is just booming. It's a role model for the rest of America. And I was at the Reagan Library in California, which is a role model in how to tank one of the greatest places in the United States. So Texas now has more Fortune 500 companies. It's part of the energy dominance. As you said, the U.S. now is an energy superpower. We've surpassed Saudi Arabia and Russia. Down here in Texas, Wall Street. A lot of people didn't like what was going on in New York. Capital comes where it's treated well, and they've got Wall Street, and businesses are booming here. I mean, these are really Americans.
Well, California is just bleeding Fortune 500 companies, executives, job creators. They're going to states that are more hospitable. At the same time, Mr. Secretary, inflation and the cost of living is weighing on Americans. What can you tell the American people tonight about the light that is there at the end of the tunnel for them on the cost of everyday living?
Yeah, so, Laura, we understand this is a challenging time, and President and the cabinet was with him. We believe that he had to take this opportunity to keep Iran from having a nuclear weapon. We will see. Maybe as soon as this weekend or Monday, we will get on the other side of this. Energy prices will come back down. The energy markets are very well supplied. Oil is already about 25 or 30% off the top. Gasoline has come down more than 10%. So I am very confident that the challenging time with gasoline will pass by. Core inflation, which is real underlying inflation, surprised on the downside. It was only 0.2%. So again, once we get on the other side of this energy pinch, and as you said, Laura, the important thing is that underneath all that, the economy is doing very well. We've created 900,000 private sector jobs since President Trump came to office. Those aren't government jobs. These are good paying private sector jobs. We're having a manufacturing rebirth because of a combination of the tariffs and our tax policy. And this was an incredible, I was acting IRS commissioner. This was an incredible filing season. Refunds were up 11%. The average refund was $3,300. And the working families tax cut, that the 96% of the filers for one of the president's four signature policies, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, lower taxes for great seniors and Social Security, and deductibility of interest on auto cars, on American-made cars. The 44% of Americans took one of those. So my message is the underlying fundamentals are excellent, and we will be on the other side of this soon.
So the cost of energy, driven largely by the war with Iran, the conflict as it's emerged, once that is resolved, how quickly do you think that will trickle down to the cost of groceries, car repairs, all the things that have remained stubbornly high over these last especially few months?
Well, what we've seen is because of the headline inflation, we had real wage increases every month under President Trump except for April. But because of the spike in energy prices, April wiped out a lot of that. So when the energy comes back down, then I think we will be back to real wage growth. And the food, actually, since President Trump came back in, what's called food at home is up 2.5%. So, and much of that is transportation costs. There's some very idiosyncratic things like beef and tomatoes, but other things in the basket are down. And the important thing is that we are creating jobs. The past 3 months in terms of jobs have just been a blowout. 170, 180,000 jobs a month, well over the estimates. And someone said to me after the jobs number came out, because there was a big pickup in the catering, hospitality, restaurant services, they said, well, that's the World Cup. And I said, great, it's the World Cup. Thank you, President Trump, for bringing the World Cup here. I had the CEO of American Airlines in, and he said that business and recreational travel is doing great, and they're seeing a huge boost from the World Cup. So thank you, President Trump, for the World Cup. We're going to have the 200. We're going to have the 250th. Then we'll go to the Olympics.
Yeah, I think once this conflict is settled, I mean, we're on the sky's the limit analogy with Elon today and SpaceX. To me, you get this thing settled the right way, sky's the limit for the U.S. economy. Everybody wants to be here. Mr. Secretary, we really appreciate you joining us on a Friday night. Thank you very much. And after more than
All right, so sky's the limit. When he put it in that way, when he put it in those terms, in terms of, okay, we've got the World Cup going on right now, which is a international event, and we've got the Olympics. Remember, I told you the sports is going to change everything. Then you got college football. Then you got NFL. I mean, from here on out, it's like going up the roller coaster. It's just going to keep going. Oh, it's going to be so fantastic. SB, what you got, man?
Hey, talking about prosperity, has anybody checked in on NVIDIA lately? NVIDIA?
What do you got here? What's it say?
Look at Elon Musk. He's endorsing it. So he's saying, looking forward to taking our exciting partnership with NVIDIA to the next level. Let me check. The current stock price is trading at $205.20. So it's within reach for a lot of folks. So I would say buy at the dip.
Oh, so today, that was tonight at 5. Here, let me just show you guys. That was tonight at 5:30. He posted that. So after becoming a trillionaire, he's like, now I'm not stopping. Ain't stopping. No stop. No stopping the game.
Moon, Alice.
No stopping the game. I'm looking forward to taking our exciting partnership with NVIDIA to the next level. Man, there ain't no next level. You're a trillionaire. I mean,
wow. You know, I'm looking forward to the Artemis 3. I think he was mentioning they're going to put a moon base up there. I mean, I am looking forward to like seeing pictures of them going out to throw out their trash and seeing it float away, you know. But I mean, that's going to be pretty damn cool, don't you think?
Of course. And again, no coincidence that both those guys are like that with President Trump. I mean, just locked in. Jensen and obviously Elon are right there. And if you look at what Jensen said here, he congratulated the SpaceX team, and he goes, fueling the next frontier of space and AI. AI.
Also, let me say it. Hold on a second. Space Force.
If people aren't realizing how all this stuff is interconnected, you're not paying attention. It's amazing what these guys are doing. All right, so I got one more segment before we go. So this one's going to be a long one. Thanks, SP.
All right.
All right. So this one, I might step on some toes, or some of you guys might feel, Barry's okay with talking about this. You see, in case you haven't noticed, I'm black. I'm a little bit lighter, but I am indeed black. I'm a black man who has watched this country with hope, with frustration, and now with outright alarm. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd have to say out loud, but here we are. The black community, or at least the loudest, most radical voices claiming to speak for the black community, are acting crazy, insane, beyond radical. It's not just the Carmelo Anthony conviction. That's just another cog in the wheel for them to keep complaining and complaining and complaining. It's an endless cry and an endless whine for reparations that keeps getting louder and louder. Let me just tell you, I've been on this planet 65 years. I've talked to my sisters. I've talked to other family members. I've talked to friends. Nobody I know, nobody has ever seen people act like this. Nobody.
What do you want us to do? That's right. What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Let me ask you this right now.
I have 5 boys. I don't know what to tell them anymore. Well, maybe you shouldn't be the one telling them. Just maybe they should be hearing it from a father. Just maybe they should be hearing it from a substantive male in the family to understand how to be a man as you grow up. Understanding there's nothing to walk away from. Don't put yourself in those kinds of situations. I'm not stupid enough to know boys that will be boys, and we used to get in fights, but we could fight and come back. We weren't going to stab somebody. Nobody was going to stab us. Nobody was going to shoot us. We didn't hang around those type of people. We didn't hang around those types of neighborhoods. Your environment is not a causation of your color. What you are seeing is a destruction of culture, not the enhancement thereof. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're not being reasonable. You're talking unintelligently. It's not cute. You're never going to advance. I don't know what to do no more. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. How do you expect other people, other black people, who are in position where they could probably help you better your lives, when all you can say is, I don't know what I gotta do no more? It's gibberish. And then, you know, all the other things that they've been doing, it makes reasonable black Americans kind of look the other way and go, what the hell is this? I've never, ever seen other black people behave like we've seen with some of these riots and some of the populations in these areas. Say what you want. Maybe I didn't grow up that way. Maybe it's something that grew out of the ghetto. But this extreme, radical, tribal behavior is not normal in any color. It's not the civil rights movement. It's not MLK. It's something very ugly and sinister. Something previous generations, like my dad and mom, worked their asses off to get away from. And here we are, worse off than people were back in the 1960s. At least back in the 1960s, they had someone to blame it on. You can't blame Chicago on what's going on anybody other than people in the same community. Let me set the stage for you, for those who might not have every detail. Carmelo Anthony was a young black man. He was convicted of murder. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison for stabbing a 17-year-old track person at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. He admitted he did the stabbing. He claimed it was self-defense. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, you don't go into somebody else's house and then claim self-defense when they shoot your ass. You stop. You don't go someplace else. It was so convincing, the jury, I don't care what color they are, they deliberated just for 3 hours, guilty of murder, not manslaughter, 35 years. Now here's where it gets real crazy. You ready for this? It gets absolutely insane. The jury wasn't some all-white lynch mob like the race hustlers are screaming and bitching about. It had a Muslim woman. Did you know that? It had several Asians. Did you know that? It had a Hispanic man. Did you know that? In addition to the white people. But facts, these people don't need facts. When you've got a narrative to push, within hours, the internet was flooded with lies. All white jury. They ganged up on him. This is just like Kyle Rittenhouse. And then came the really chilling stuff. Prominent voices declared openly, and I quote, "You don't want to F with black people because we might effing kill you." Let that sink in. And an entire race of people who have been coddled by the government, who have been led to be entitled by the government, who've been force-fed, had their food, their housing, their bus passes, all given to them, and they grew into a sense of entitlement. And here's the worst part about it. We're talking about a community of people, which is not all black people, but a community of people who feel you owe them. You owe them.
Psychological warfare with us. They are hell-bent on beating us down to our face and then telling us that, you know, we're the ones who are crazy. And we got to fight back against this. So, you know what? I have just not engaged in that topic of them trying to give like insurrectionists some dollars. because we got to control the things that we can control. And they want Black folks to feel like they're poking, like that they're knocking the wind out of us, right? That's what they.
Who wants you to feel like they're knocking the wind out of your sails? She didn't say sails, but who? I don't know anybody who's telling me I can't do anything. Here, by the way, just to let you know, she's one of your congresspersons. She's a congresswoman. She's from Ohio. She is a congresswoman talking this way. She openly cheering about racial tribalism. She's cheering the idea that justice should be a team sport based on skin color. That's the uniform. The uniform isn't a shirt, it's a skin color. As a Black man, I listen to this stuff and it upsets me to the core. What in the world happened to us? I grew up in a generation where we were told the goal was to be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. And they've completely thrown that out the window. I want to be judged by the color of my skin. Notice every single one of these race baiters are complaining because you're not judging them by the color of their skin. Don't look at my character. My character has nothing to do with this. You have to judge me as a Black person. And God forbid for you if you disrespect me. You see, right now, being disrespected is a death sentence. I've been disrespected. I'm Black. You disrespected me. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the times I was disrespected growing up by people in my own family, by coaches. You see, we learned back then that you weren't entitled to be disrespected. You're 17. Everybody who's in your school, your teachers, your coaches, your father, if they were around, your mother, you ain't getting no disrespect. I'm telling you what to do. So I don't know if it's the music culture. I don't know if it's watching television. And Robin and I were watching some show, and we both kind of turned and looked at each other at the same time when the father went into the room, was talking to the daughter. She's like, "Damn, Dad, you didn't even knock." How many of you could tell your parents to knock on your door when you grew up? And they're making it seem like it's okay. But that was with white kids. Now, that's a signal of disrespect. You disrespected me. You must die. It is a capital offense in the Black community because you're not judging me on my color.
They need us to feel that way. Because if we feel empowered, if we feel like we have even a tiny bit of momentum, then they know that we have enough power to do damage.
The only damage you can do against people who are more established is shoot them and stab them. You want to orchestrate some kind of crazy boycott? You think you have that much purchasing power? But then again, you're not purchasing anything. You want to show a boycott, stop taking damn SNAP benefits. How about that? Start there. Nope, not going to take these SNAP benefits. Because the people who are doing this stuff, who are shopping in the stores, are getting SNAP benefits and free stuff. You want to have a boycott, stop taking our stuff. Start there. No, you ain't going to do that, though. You want to pretend like you have purchasing power, more so than other ethnic groups, because it's more important that you be heard as a Black woman or a Black man instead of an American. My parents' generation, your parents' generation, fought to be seen as people who were going to have the law equally applied. All we wanted was opportunity. That's it. No excuses. Respect was something you earned. Respect wasn't something you demanded through intimidation solely because you're Black. But that's what they think. You disrespected me. Seriously? We've got a professional group of race hustlers and their online army setting fire to all of this because the jury did its job. And it just happens to be the jury de jour. It could have been any jury. It could have been any crime. It could have been this month or it could be next month because the evidence mattered more than the skin color. But to them, their reaction is it's not about facts. It's about blacks.
Positive damage, good trouble damage, or whatever.
Good trouble. That's it.
Good trouble. But yeah, it's absurd. And that's what they do, because again, they're trying to disenfranchise you. Because if you believe that you're never going to get reparations from the system, then you tap out.
That whole argument, that more entitlement, you need to give me. I need your stuff because I'm black. Well, did you ever bale any hay? No. Did you ever come across on a boat in a hole having to be sick and with dysentery? No. Did you ever get whipped? No. Did you ever have to sleep in the outhouse and you never made it to the big house? No. Did the overseer come in and do bad things to you? No. Well, what the hell are you getting paid for? How are you, quote, entitled to reparations? This is victimhood dialed to 11. When disrespect can equal a capital offense, we got a big problem. That's not strength. That's not solidarity. That's a hostage note. It's the exact opposite of progress. That's a man burning down his own house and then complaining the neighborhood looks bad. And while this circus us your money, why? Because I'm entitled to it. All of this systemic racism, you got to pay me for being black on this planet. What are you doing? Are you offering anything? Are you going to go build a wall or something? Put in my fence? Come clean, wash my floors? No. Just give it to me. Why? Because I'm black.
You don't just tap out of the conversation. You tap out of the system. You don't want to vote anymore. You don't participate anymore. And they know that that's how they don't just control Congress. That's how they can get your school boards, your board of supervisors. They want us that far out of the system. So right now, we fight for reparations because it's owed us.
I've never met you. Nobody in my family has ever met you. Nobody in this chat more than likely has ever met you. What the hell are you talking about? We owe you. In fact, I'm going to twist it around on you and your compatriots. We have spent trillions in these inner cities. Trillions. We've spent all this money since the whole idea came about. Never mind anything about trying to have any personal responsibility. Never mind family structure. Never mind real culture. Never mind crime rates that have nothing to do with 1865 and everything to do with the choices that you make every single day. What is giving these people this idea that we owe them? You owe them. We have a word for it now, or a phrase. We call it black fatigue, but it's worse than that. Because it's a small segment of people. That's why I really wanted to tell you this, because wherever you are, it's a small segment of people, but they're becoming dangerous because of that entitlement. You owe them. Why? I don't know, but you owe them. It is basically the same thing as giving the kitten milk. The kitten then feels you owe it milk. You give an alligator some chicken or throw it in the pond, he thinks you need to come feed me. And if you don't feed me, he's going to eat you. These people, that's where they're headed. You disrespect me, I got to hit you. I got to do something to you. Don't give me what is mine because I'm entitled to it. I'm going to have to take it.
It is owed us. So we're not going to back down on that one way or another. I'm not shocked that my colleagues are not on it, that Democratic colleagues aren't on it. Again, there is a level of comfort in this building that sustains people. And I know that the people who don't want reparations back a lot of my colleagues, Democrat and otherwise. So no, I'm not shocked But it is why we have to keep people on the outside encouraged.
And I'm here this morning because you cannot talk about dignity, hope, and joy for Black children in America without telling the truth about what was taken from them.
So if they're Black children in America, they're kids. So if something was taken from those kids, it was probably someone in their family. It is not our responsibility. I'm sorry if you're feeling disrespected, but you get the double middle finger salute if you think the rest of us, white or Black, owe you a damn dime. And look at all these people. Look at the cue ball there. She's a congressperson. And these people are in our government. We have allowed them to infect Congress.
Parents, from their grandparents, from 400 years of mothers and fathers and aunties and uncles who built the wealth of this nation and were never allowed to hold a single dime of it.
How bad do you have to be? How far do you need to move the goalpost in 2026 to think that you're entitled to anything that anybody has right now? I am so tired of these people. I am offended. I am embarrassed. You can call me an Uncle Tom all you want, but I'm saying the truth. You're not entitled to anything. And the fact that you're professing this profane lie to people is you are purposely making it all about the color of somebody's skin, not the content of their character, not their value, not what they've earned. It's insane.
So let's tell the truth. We do not have a money problem in America. Marian Wright Edelman said that, and she was absolutely correct. We do not have a money problem. We have a values problem. We have a priorities problem. The money is here. It's always been.
Oh, yeah, wait, the money's there. It just ain't yours. That's the part she's not getting. The radical element driving this is not representative of most Black Americans. I want you to know these people are loud. They are the screamers. They are the squeaky wheel. They dominate social media. They get their videos out there. They get their cameras. And every time they open their damn mouths with this nonsense, decent people learn something false. And that falsity is that many Black people think this way. That's not who we are. At least that's not who we are in terms of people who have had a decent upbringing. My parents got divorced when I was young, but still, I still had a strict upbringing. They're not speaking for the vast majority of Black Americans who worked hard, who raised families, and just want to be a part of the community. Wherever they live, they're not interested in reparations. They're not worried about being, quote, disrespected. This is the fruit of decades of race baiting, decades of grievance grifters. These people have studied Al Sharpton like it was watching a game film. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to get certain people, certain companies to capitulate. Thank God President Trump is here, and we can toss that DEI crap into the trash. You're not just going to get something. You are not going to profit just because of the color of your skin. They told an entire generation of kids that the system is rigged, and now those kids truly believe it. They can't do anything. If they can't shoot a basketball or catch a touchdown, they can't do anything. They're done. And these are our leaders. These are Black leaders, as they call themselves. And what are they perpetuating to younger people? Beg. And don't dare get disrespected.
Here, we found it for everybody and everything else. Right. We just keep deciding over and over again not to do right by the people whose country, who had this country built on their backs. Congresswoman Presley's bill says decide differently. H.R. 40 says it's time to study the wound so we can finally heal it. H.R. 40 says America can no longer demand that we raise whole children in a broken land and a country that refuses to repair itself. And understand this is not...
The judge as well in this case.
Forget the optics. Forget how this looks, because that in itself is enough. But what you're looking at is people who have completely replaced the ideology of pull yourself up with the world owes me, and I have the opportunity and I am entitled enough to get in your personal space. This guy here, I don't know who he is. I don't know who either one of them is, but the restraint showed by this gentleman in the Stars shirt, the restraint as somebody I would take as a threat. If you're 2 inches away from my face, you're about 18 inches too close. If you're not within arm's length and you're showing me an aggressive tone like that, you're probably going to get decked. Not because I'm disrespecting you, but because you seem to be a threat.
It was not a case about race, but you cannot deny that just the facts of the case and what we've seen play out since then and what we're watch happening now is because...
My purpose for doing this segment was to tell you, in case you didn't know, this is not normal. This is not how anybody I've ever known acts. ACTS. Nobody I know acts this way. Nobody I know would ever do anything like this. Nobody I know would ever put themselves in such a situation to act this way. But the media can't wait to put this stuff on camera, because the media amplifies the stereotype that they want you to see. They know exactly what this was going to look like. They knew exactly how people would think once they saw this. So today of all days, I think you can see right now, we have a man that turned into a trillionaire today. He created 4,000 millionaires, many of them multimillionaires. And these people are doomed. These people have stopped trying. These people expect you to take care of them. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't expect any sort of reparation. I'm not entitled to any reparation. The only thing I want President Trump to do is give us opportunity. That's not what these people want.
The defendant is black, the victim is white, and that's the bottom line. But again, this is what I alluded to when I said this has brought out what's bubbling right beneath the surface.
And I want...
So I want you to hear this next piece. If you're still with me, I want you to hear this next piece, because this man issues a threat. And it's a threat that every single one of you are going to listen to and go, sounds good to me. I'm okay with this. And this is the kind of crazy insanity of thinking that your self-entitlement allows you to say something like this because you think people would be bothered by it. But when you hear it, I guarantee you, you will all say, sounds good to me.
You to begin to think about this America and the white people problem that we have. I'm going to make a statement. We know that Martin Luther King, the beginning of his work was all about integration. We do know that later on that did change. Integration has had great benefits. I think now, unless you must stay in America, unless you are supposed to be in the USA, Otherwise, if you're black, integration has had great benefits. I'm telling you, and I'm saying this as a collective, let's drain this place of its benefits and make our mass exodus and go home and build.
You guys can leave in the chat and tell me if you'd be bothered if that would happen. He actually recorded a video. I think this guy's a pastor, and he's like, we need to come together and we need just to leave. We need to go back to the motherland, which none of them were born there. We need to leave. And I'm thinking to myself, did you expect people to go, oh, no, don't do that. Please, whatever you do, don't leave. I can't even comprehend the amount or the amount of lack of self-awareness that someone would have to call for all black people to get up collectively and leave and go back to Africa. And to think, number one, that anybody would do that, and number two, that anybody would give a crap. In fact, they'd probably help you pack. I think we all, as a collective, we should go back. We should just withdraw. You first. You first. There is nothing other than your microphone and your podcast set that that you invested in, but you go first. There's an airport, I guarantee you somewhere, I guess he's from Atlanta. You got a big airport. You could be over in, I don't know, Sudan in about 12 hours. You first. What kind of insane bullcrap is this? And what did you think would be the outcome? Did you think all of a sudden a ton of black people would start heading to the airport? That ain't gonna happen. They like the free stuff. Did you think all of a sudden a bunch of white people would be like, please, please, don't leave. Please, whatever you do, don't leave. Oh gosh.
I repeat, integration has had great benefits to black people. For some of us. Let's drain this place of its benefits and make our mass exodus and go home and build. See, civil rights.
I don't know about you, bro, but home is about 2 miles away from where I'm sitting right now. And in all of about 10 minutes, and I'll be home and I'll be sitting there with my white wife and my doggies having a nice dinner while you're heading over to Guyana someplace. Go for it.
Did not make white people that are infected with whiteness stop being racist. They still raised racist children that run this country to this day. The Civil Rights Act just made social discrimination federally illegal in key areas of American life.
I can't. I can't with these people. The delusion that some of these people have. But see, the problem is that as much as right now you're saying this guy is a complete utter moron, which you are correct, the problem with it is he gets to vote. He gets to tell people this stuff and stay here. He gets to pretend as though he has a say in things. He gets to think that there's some sort of tribal loyalty. It doesn't make any sense, except it does make sense. Rush Limbaugh, and I had to go look it up, he used to say this all the time: the left never stops. They always keep whining. They will never stop whining. They never declare victory because they can never win. They just keep pushing craziness. They will never say we've arrived. They will never say we just had an IPO and we had success. They will keep complaining. This entire Carmelo Anthony reaction is just the latest example. They're no longer interested in a colorblind society. They definitely want to be judged by the color of their skin. They want race to be the only lens, and it's a lens where feelings override facts, and disrespect justifies doing anything to you. That's not America. That's not the American dream. That's a freaking nightmare. We were supposed to leave that stuff behind. You boomers remember when this country was moving in the right direction on race. I see you probably sitting back going, shaking your heads, because I feel it too. But here's the good news. One, God wins. The truth is still the truth. And a jury in Texas just proved it, which is their problem. You're not supposed to imprison. You're not supposed to convict a black man. Any conviction is wrong if somebody was disrespected. See, at least with you, evidence still matters. And millions of Americans, black, white, and every shade in between, are watching this radical display of insanity and thinking the exact same thing. We've had enough of your BS. We don't have to play this game anymore. We don't have to accept that every bad outcome is proof of systemic racism, while ignoring culture, family breakdown, and personal accountability. There is no personal accountability in those kinds of communities. So I'm telling you, the extreme radical behavior that you're seeing right now is not normal, it's not healthy, it's not sustainable, and it's not acceptable. And it's unknown to many people like me. We didn't deal with this stuff. So the path forward is the same one it's always been. Individual personal accountability, equal justice under the law, and judging people by what they do, not by the color of their skin. I was a young kid when all the stuff from Martin Luther King was going on, and now we are later generations. They wouldn't even be paying attention to Martin Luther King. They have completely ripped up his entire playbook. They don't want their kids to run with other white kids. They want a separatist society. Well, you know what? And I mean this sincerely. Let's friggin' give it to them. You want to live on your own? Do it. That means you don't need any reparations. You don't want to collect from white people. I reject your tribalism. I hate it. America has always been at its best, like we will see this weekend, when we refuse to let skin color define us. They're trying to take us back to that. I want to have an honest, direct, without fear, conversation with you people and anyone that wants to discuss things without worrying about you being disrespected. I'll save that to SV and the trolls. F you, go away. I don't care. We don't care. That's not what America is supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to be harmonious. Will we ever get there? I don't know. But why would we stop? Why would we say retreat? Because every single one of these people in every single one of these communities that says they're disrespected by people even looking at them the wrong way, who says we should move and go to another country, that is retreat. You already lost. Just admit it. Just be man and woman enough to admit you lost. You checked out of society. You got no value to anybody anywhere. That's why you're trying to collect on the back of other people from 400 years ago. So all I can say for you is kiss it. I'm done with you. I just had to say that because it just bothered me so much watching this stuff over the last couple of days. SV, you there?
Swing low, sweet chariot.
I'll tell you right now,
Oh.
anybody who was a slave would be disgusted with these people. Just imagine,
Absolutely.
I was never a slave. I never knew anybody who was a slave. But when you read the books and you find out what they had to go through, meanwhile, they're all walking around with $1,000 cell phones and, big eyelashes that go like this and nails and everything and all the fake appropriation. And I'm like, wait a minute, we didn't have all that. You got everything.
Fair. It's funny. I saw a car. I literally saw a car, and it was driven by a black lady, and she had the black lashes on her front of her car. I was like, "What in the world?"
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I do have some news. So, President Trump is staying in Washington, D.C. this weekend ahead of a possible Iran deal being signed by J.D. Vance in Europe.
Okay.
He's going to work at 8 a.m. tomorrow while most of us sleep, and will be at an event in Virginia at 7 p.m. So I looked up, what is that event at 7 p.m.? It is a MAGA Inc. dinner at Trump National Golf Club in Sterling, Virginia. However, it is closed press. So it's something he's going to be doing tomorrow evening in Sterling, Virginia.
So 8 a.m. tomorrow, he'll be at and then an event at 7 p.m. And then 47 will be on deck for any huge developments. He never slows down. UFC on Sunday, big weekend. And who knows? We may see a deal happen this weekend as well. Wouldn't it be awesome if the deal is struck and signed on his birthday?
That I'm hoping, or around it. Within a few days is good too. Talk about a great birthday present for being 80 years old. Wow. Fantastic.
All right.
So that's all I have right now. So if you're done for the night, I'm going to say have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, I decided I'm gonna record the press conference tonight, and I'll play it on Sunday just before the fights and everything, so we can do that.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, brother. All right, everybody, let me do super chats here. Peace and quiet, Pekovsky. Ed Sloan, Barry, I got this morning on 2 IPOs, one at Robinhood and one through crypto. Very nice. Be careful with the 15-day restriction. That's the only thing I want to warn people. A lot of people didn't read the fine print and don't realize that you may be restricted from resale in the first 15 days. So just don't freak out. McElmer, Elon employs like 150,000 people and has helped like 5,000 people become millionaires. I don't see anything wrong with that dude. He's on the front line of making the world better for everyone. Absolutely. Beavis, 100% Bernie will start saying the billionaires are trillionaires. He stopped talking about millionaires because he became one. You're absolutely right. Chiosop, where'd that go? Communists are jealous people who want what you have but don't want to work to achieve it. They'd rather undercut you and steal it from you. Yep, 100%. McElmer, these politicians complaining about Elon does not doing enough are like elite panhandlers. I have to believe you are correct there. Mr. Mike, you are such an inspiration, Barry. Because of you, I invest in multiple ways. We should be clapping for all these entrepreneurs. Thank you, and I love your channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Chiosop, did Liz want people to be prosperous? She would reach out to them on what she did to be prosperous, but I guess you can't reach the grifting and selling out. I don't think, I wonder how many people even know that she's worth millions. McElmer again, they need to stop attacking rich people when they're wearing clothes that cost more than my car. Good point. Starfleet, I bought some shares of SpaceX this morning along with pre-IPO shares, positioning for myself for prosperity. Good for you. McElmer again, it's not fair. Elon is getting attacked for being a trillionaire instead of being congratulated and thanked for being the single biggest movement of the world money that anyone ever. Yeah, the whole market shifted to get ready for today. G. Fisher, Dems embrace Nazis and commies while trashing any prosperity. Imagine waking up every day with the warped mindset. What a life. Exactly. Nicholas, Barry, I'm in a better place today than yesterday. Liz Warren doesn't want people to know that she made $7 million from an NGO on USAID she didn't earn. Pelosi as well. They both benefit from the ill-gotten gain. I just wish there was a way to put these people in jail. Does he read super chats at the end of his stream? Yes, I do, and yes, I am. Mr. Mike, Elizabeth Warren looks like the most constipated Democrat ever. These people are miserable. God bless America and capitalism. Yeah, they are. Thank you for the video. Yeah, she just frowns and screams. McElmer again, thank you very much. I hope you're here to see this. I made a picture with AI of President Trump flying through the air like Superman with the American flag as his cape. That would probably be a very cool picture to see. Nathan Hardcastle, hey Barry, you have inspired me to use AI, and I've created over 100 songs with Suno. If you haven't used Suno, you can make songs. It's pretty cool. And I have a few pieces for our 250th. Send them to me. Send me a link. My profile is Nathan Hardcastle on Suno. I will check that out for sure. If you happen to take a listen to some of my songs, I would like to somehow debut Wabash River Run, the one that has 40 plays. Also, I would like to suggest the playlist Inspirations on the AT. Okay, I'll check that out for sure. Buddy Sanders, Putin said in 2017 that if Americans knew what he knew about the administration, we would have a civil war. I believe it's coming. Oh, wait a minute. That's Uncle Ted. Oh, he's talking about hunting. Ian Stedia, should we be concerned with what the deep state will do to retaliate, and what will they do? I don't know what they'll do, but then I'm sure they will try to retaliate. And Mariah, amazing grace at this time. Patience is a virtue. Now all connecting the dots. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for watching. Nicholas, Barry never got the jab. Me neither. It killed my best friend from high school who had a heart condition. Oh my God, that hurts. Sorry. Ronaldo, first move to take over a government is control all forms of communication and news. We've seen them try this, and they would do it again. In a heartbeat, they would do it again. G. Fisher, more money for the homeless. What for? More needles? Christina, Barry, our house is finished, and we've had the final closing next week. The big news will follow then. Thank you. And Grayman says, hunker down. The feces is about to hit the wind population, the propulsion device. Thank you. I remember him. You guys are well stocked out there, if you know what I mean. G. Fisher, Trump and the USA were killing it with prosperity when the jabademic hit. I knew they did it. Now we all know. Peaceful Haven, you don't have to be a certain color or shade to teach your kids morals, values, and personal accountability. You're absolutely right. Demon of Cybertron, where'd that go? Oh, by the way, where's the money they saved for Carmelo Anthony? I've heard they actually did get it. I know they pulled it so they couldn't get any more, but I think they drew down on it. Nathan Hardcastle, if they want reparations, why don't they just start GoFundMe? Let's see how that turns out. No, they want it from you, the white peoples. Buddy Sanders, Obama pushed race relations backwards. I completely agree with that. Chiosop, pastor selling plane tickets and land to Africa. And finally, Raven Kirkendall. Hey, I haven't heard you for a while. Barry's face guy jumping in other guy's face. Man, they'd have had to arrest me. That guy jumping in my face. I'd have had to say something. I'd have been over that. All right, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. We've got a lot of stuff happening this weekend. Again, Sunday is the UFC fight. Tomorrow, we'll see what's news, but I can pretty much tell you what we got Sunday. Sunday, we'll have the Lee Greenwood interview. I'll have the press conference with the MMA fighters. Of course, some other news, and then we're going to jump over on Rumble, and hopefully, if everything goes okay, we'll go ahead and show the entire event. So that's Sunday. Tomorrow, just some regular news, and we'll take it from there. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye.